find it hard to even make the playoffs considering how the AFC stacks up, explains our Keyshawn Johnson.
They're somewhere in that 6 to 8 range. You got Kansas City. Pittsburgh is getting Big Ben back. Mike Tomlin's a hell of a football coach. You know, there's a dude up the road in Baltimore that is the MVP.
Unanimous.
You know, and pretty good, right?
Keyshawn of Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. Linebacker Clay Matthews failed to reach a deal with the Broncos, but his agent said he's still open to playing. The Broncos had attempted to sign Matthews with linebacker Von Miller sidelined indefinitely. The all-inclusive NCAA men's basketball tournament proposed by coaches in the ACC doesn't have the backing of the NCAA. The organization says it's not considering a contingency plan to expand the tournament in 2021.
Brought to you by Cooper Tires. Go with great tires that do what tires should do and cost what tires should cost. Go with the Coopers.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And the brain.
Hey, the brain got a poop.
All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. It hit me this morning.
What hit you this morning, Matt?
This morning, woke up and I was having my coffee, sitting at my desk in my home office, and looked out the window on a beautiful September's morn, and I realized the NFL is playing tonight. The Chiefs and the Texans. And I thought of all we've been through since March. And I felt like Clark Griswold at the end of Christmas Vacation. Standing there in his yard, looking up at the sky, the flaming Santa flying through the air, Aunt Bethany singing the national anthem, with hordes of SWAT team members who had just busted his house to holy hell and back, a Rottweiler named Snot who ruined whatever was still standing, relatives, many of whom he didn't even like, staring there at the sky. And what did he say? I did it. He did it. And we did it. We made it, y'all. We made it through all of the naysayers, through all of the Chicken Littles, all of the doubters and the Debbie Downers. Everyone who said, yeah, this can't be done. No football. For 6 months of people who have whined and cried and moaned, who have fear-mongered and led you to believe that our whole damn world was falling apart. Yet you had people who are actually leaders who said, no, let's go find a way to make this happen. Not going to be easy, especially while we're dragging all of your dead weight up this hill as you try to pull us back. No, we're going to move forward. Forward they moved. And here we are. 4 hours and 15 minutes exactly from the NFL season kicking off. I don't care if you love the NFL or you hate the NFL. What's going to happen tonight, as a matter of principle, is awesome. I don't care if there's fans or no fans. I don't care if there's electronic whistles. I don't care if they don't allow mascots or marching bands. I don't care if they allow tailgating or they got screens of virtual fans or tarps with sponsor logos covering the first 8 rows. None of that matters to me. I don't care at all. You know what I'm going to be doing tonight at 7:20? Be sitting on my couch with a nice glass of Sazerac rye in my hand, watching the NFL. And you know what I'm going to do also? I'll probably have my tablet right in front of me, and I'll be watching FBS, Power 5 football, because the University of Miami plays tonight. ACC, first Power 5 team to play. Excuse me, Power 3. That's right, Big Ten and Pac-12. How you doing? We're over here playing football. How's it going in your neck of the woods? Good? Great. Enjoy your downtime. Watch De'Aaron King. Great profile up at ESPN.com right now if you haven't seen it. De'Aaron King, Houston transfer, been through tragedies in his life. Mother was very ill. His father's passed. Transferred from Houston to Miami to play his senior year. Now he's going to get a shot at Power 5 football. I'm excited to see that kid play tonight. That young man play tonight. Might have taken the chainsaw to the newel post. Might have had a Christmas tree break every window in our den. We might have fried a cat under a chair. Might have had an unwelcome guest burn our turkey to holy hell. Might have had an elderly relative have a cat in a box. We made it. We might have to wear masks everywhere we go because some people actually think that's helping. We may have had to stay our asses in our homes for 3 months because, some people were terrified of their shadow. We've made it through an awful lot. Here in Louisiana, they wouldn't even let us into Florida. I had to cancel my vacation because they wouldn't let us into Destin. But here we are. NFL tonight. Power 5 football tonight. If you don't enjoy this, you're hopeless. You're hopeless. If you don't enjoy the fact that you're going to get to watch Clyde Edwards-Helaire make his NFL debut for the Super Bowl champions, if you don't enjoy the fact that tonight you get to watch one of the greatest and most exciting players in the history of LSU football, Tyrann Mathieu, play for the defending champs. Darrell Williams, still on an NFL roster. He'll be playing tonight. If you're not going to find your favorite couch or chair, turn on the TV and enjoy this tonight, you're kind of helpless. Maybe you want to just go live in fear. Maybe you're good just existing, constantly looking for rain clouds to hover over your head because you don't want to live in positivity. But that's not how I live. I'm much more like Clark Griswold. I may staple 10,000 strands of lights to my roof, but you know why I'm doing it? Because I want my family to enjoy it. And it brings a lot of people happiness. And football should do that too. I am so excited for tonight. And I am so excited that I did an entire open to this show, drawing a parallel to one of my favorite movies of all time. We did it, y'all. It's after further review. Man, we got a lot to do today. I do have some disappointing news, sincerely. Mike Detillier, who's with us every Thursday, Mike's mother passed yesterday. So Mike's not going to be with us today. And on a much serious and sincere note, when you hit your knees and you say some prayers, offer a few up for Mike's family. Mike's mom had been sick. I don't think you would mind me saying this. She had been sick for a while, and it was not unexpected, but it doesn't make it any easier. So I'm fortunate to have both my parents, but anyone who has lost a parent, I'm sure, can absolutely relate. So Y'all say a prayer for Mike and his family. Mike's not going to be with us today. What we will do at the bottom of this hour, we'll talk to Brian Broussard from the LSU ticket office. A lot of people have asked questions about how tickets are going to work. We'll get some of those answers from Brian Broussard in about 20 minutes from right now. Our Fantasy Blitz returns, so Darren Tietgen later this hour. We'll talk to Travers Mackle at 4:15. If you haven't heard, Travers from WDSU in New Orleans had a pretty contentious back and forth. He was trying to be respectful with the mayor got contentious in New Orleans about if there's going to be football, high school, college with Tulane, and the Saints playing this weekend. So Travers is going to join us to fill in some of the blanks next hour, then Mike Triplett in hour number 3. So a lot to do today, and glad you're hanging around with us. Because we got Brian Broussard at the bottom of this hour, let me break. We'll come back. We'll go around the SEC. A ton we're going to get to here over the next 3 hours, and glad that you're hanging out on a Thursday edition of AFR. Stick around.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're online at lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. Okay, no excuses today. You got 2 hours till they close. Adam and Jay and the whole gang over there, they're waiting to take your call. So let this be the day. You have heard me preach from the pulpit for years about Insurance Network of Louisiana. And so many times, I need to call those people. I'm going to call those people. And then you get the notice in the mail and your rate's gone up. And you go, I need to call those people that Matt talks about. Here it is. These are the people. Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm talking to you. But I'm driving, Matt. Then voice text it. Tell Siri to call Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call them right now. Let them shop for you for free to see if they can get you better coverage for less money. Stop overpaying for insurance. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450, 293-0450.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a RAV4 for $3,000 off MSRP. That's right, $3,000 off MSRP. And we have plenty in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
This is a house call. This is a test result. This is a prescription refill. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. Start your virtual visit today at Auctioner Health.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who, without being asked, shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community? We believe that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank & Trust.
So, if you know someone that sounds like what Jordy was just describing, nominate them to be your good citizen, and they'll have a chance to win $500 from Citizens Bank & Trust. Plus, we'll mention him right here on the show. So go to citizensbankandtrust.com for more details and nominate your good citizen.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Your Honda needs some TLC, and Richard's Honda is the smart place to get it. With oil changes at just $39. And with so many service bays, you'll be in and out super fast. Schedule your appointment today at richardshonda.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, Brain, you want to give away free stuff?
Do I ever?
I love giving away free stuff. I mean, it's like I feel like it's Christmas. We all woke up today and we get football.
You just did the whole monologue on
No,
Christmas.
I'm not going to do it again.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it again. But it does feel like, was that pretty, like, I mean, it made sense, though, didn't it? Anyway?
It did.
Didn't it?
It did.
I mean, Griswold at the end of the movie looking up going, I did it. And everything went to holy hell. But he did. He made it to the end. That's what it feels like. That's where we are. Look around you, Ellen. We're at the threshold of hell. That's kind of what it feels like. But we're here. We did it. Last Thursday, we gave away a Sazerac prize pack. I want to do it again. So if you weren't here last, same rules apply. It went so well last week. I want to do it again. But here's what I got to stress to you, okay? If you weren't with us last week, what we're giving away is a Sazerac Tailgate at Home prize pack, courtesy of our friends at Sazerac Rye. It's a great merch giveaway. They have backpack tailgate cooler chairs. It's a backpack that's a cooler that also opens up to a tailgate chair. Great for camping or tailgating. You get the picture. We'll get you 2 of those, 2 of the Bluetooth speaker lanterns with the Sazerac Rye logo on it, and other Sazerac swag. Shirts, bottle openers, hard plastic cups, koozies, all that good stuff. A big old Sazerac tailgate prize pack. Here's what you have to do. Same rules as last week. Got to have Instagram. Go to the Sazerac Rye Instagram account. Take any post that has the Sazerac Rye bottle in it and share that to your story. Tag me in the story, at Matt Moscona. Tag me in the story so I can see you, so you'll show up in my mentions, and then we'll randomize the number at the end of the show today, and we'll give away the prize pack. Again, so you got to have an Instagram account. Matt, I don't have Instagram. Go start an Instagram account. Go find the Sazerac Rye. Again, it's Sazerac Rye whiskey. It's got the blue check mark. You'll see it. Pick any post that they have on their account with the bottle. Share it to your story. So don't go tag me in the comments of that post. Do not tag me in the comments of that post. You're not going to get registered. You got to share it to your story. If you don't know, there's like under the picture, there's a little arrow. Click that. It'll say share to your story. Do it that way and then tag me in the story, and you'll see it right there, and then you'll be entered. We'll give away the winner. We'll announce the winner at the end of the show today. All right, it's after further review. Another Oregon player has opted out, third this week. This time it's Thomas Graham, who is actually one of the most accomplished cornerbacks active in college football. He was the FBS. He entered the season, was set to anyway, as the active leader in passes defended and pass breakups. He decided to return to Oregon for his senior year, try to win a national championship. Well, the Pac-10 decides they're not playing football, so Thomas Graham kind of gets screwed. Well, Penei Sewell, Diamador Lenore has also opted out. So, listen, here's the point. I feel for these guys, and I hope that they're able to make the most of this offseason or this fall and winter to prepare themselves for the draft and go have a good experience there. But anyone who is looking at the possibility of a spring football season, it's just not realistic. I mean, for these reasons, it's just not a realistic thing that we're looking at. None of these players, as we suspected, are going to opt to play in the spring. So this is where it is, man. You're already seeing it at Oregon. You're seeing it at Stanford today as well. It's going to continue to transpire that way in the Big Ten and the Pac-12 if they try to play a delayed season. So not only is it just implausible for health and safety reasons, but also because you're just not going to have enough players to make this work. So, I mean, expect more of that. But another starter at Oregon today decided he won't play in whatever their restart may be. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Thursday show is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We'll talk to Brian Broussard at the LSU ticket office here in 10 minutes from right now, and then Fantasy Blitz later this hour, so we'll get your fantasy football questions answered before you set your fantasy roster, check with the guys at whotostart.com. That's coming up in about 25 minutes from right now. Right now, though, let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Tennessee Volunteers.
The Knoxville lawyer representing Tennessee football offensive lineman Cade Mays says he's filed an appeal for Mays to receive an NCAA transfer waiver. Tennessee opens its season September 26th at South Carolina. It was back on August 17th that Jeremy Pruitt announced Mays' initial transfer waiver was denied. Mays has transferred from Georgia to Tennessee, doing so back in January. His dad was an All-American at Tennessee. Former five-star recruit, 6'6", 328, started 18 games at Georgia, played all 5 positions across the offensive line. He was going to be a day one starter for Tennessee if he can get eligible, and now he's trying to get an attorney to get him there through the NCAA.
The Texas A&M Aggies.
A&M's football team has lost true freshman tight end Blake Smith to a season-ending knee injury. Jimbo Fisher confirming the news on Thursday. Smith and redshirt freshman tight end Baylor Cupp both lost for the season, so that's 2 tight ends that A&M has lost for the year. Cupp last week suffered a shoulder separation in practice. He had surgery for it last week. Smith set to have surgery Thursday on his injured knee.
The Missouri Tigers.
Less than 3 weeks from the season's opening kickoff at number 3 Alabama. Missouri has 14 unidentified players in quarantine because of COVID-19 infections. Last week, Mizzou had 5 players in quarantine, and Eli Drinkwitz is reportedly doing backflips over this because, as we all know, because you listen to AFR, have players test positive now. You don't have to worry about it during the season. Drinkwitz says he was not concerned that any of his team's new positive cases were the result of Saturday's scrimmage there at Mizzou.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
And Georgia football games this season, they're going to be missing a well-known attraction. Uga, the iconic live Bulldog mascot, he will not be present due to COVID-19 protocols, which prohibits mascots on the field. Last time Uga was not on the sideline for a home game, November 21st, back in 2009. It was at that time that Uga the 7th died suddenly 2 days earlier. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal. And our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. They're online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. If you're a business owner and you need your business to run more efficiently, you need Gulf Coast Office Products. If it's copier, scanners, all-in-ones, they have it all at Gulf Coast Office Products, and they have a gigantic warehouse in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, North Shore, so that way they can get to your business same day with the part you need if your equipment goes offline. They're experts in those equipment, or in that equipment, in those products. So that way, if your machine says error LX74G9 or 8, they know what that is. They can get you back online more quickly. It's all about being efficient. It's Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. It's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. A lot we're going to get to over the course of the day today. We'll talk to Brian Broussard at the LSU ticket office coming up in 6 minutes from right now. And we'll get a lot of your questions answered. Yesterday, we know that LSU announced they'll be at 25% capacity. So a big question everyone's had, of course, is how do you distribute the tickets? And how do you determine who gets tickets and who gets how many tickets and where you're going to sit and that whole process of how do I get my ticket, et cetera. So, and all the plans and contingencies that they've prepared for. I can imagine the guy with the toughest job over at LSU of late here has got to be Brian Broussard, trying to figure out how to ticket and distribute these tickets for what was up until yesterday an unknown capacity. So we now know it'll be 25% capacity. How that all transpires, we'll get some answers from Brian Broussard coming up shortly. So NFL kickoff tonight, Chiefs and Texans. I'm pretty excited about this one tonight. You can see a lot of LSU guys make their debut. A lot of people have wondered about Rookie of the Year. It's actually Joe Burrow, not Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was the odds-on favorite out in Vegas to win NFL Rookie of the Year. But interestingly enough, I was getting ready this morning. I'd get up on, and there was a quad screen. So there's 4 guys. It's Greenberg, and then there was Louis Riddick and Dominique Foxworth and I believe it was Marcus Spears was the other. And they were talking about the fact that they had an NFL. No, it was Schefter. I'm sorry. It was not Spears. It was Schefter. They had all the NFL analysts at ESPN had their fantasy draft. And Louis Riddick had the first overall pick and took Clyde Edwards-Helaire first overall in his fantasy draft. And y'all know, look, I've never played fantasy football. I don't know anything about it. But what it speaks to is the expectation on Clyde, not just because of the season he had a year ago, but the season he had a year ago and going to this offense. Like we've talked about, the way Andy Reid used Kareem Hunt, before that how he used Jamal Charles. When he finds that back, how that back works into this offense can be special, as we've seen before, and very much has the possibility to be with Clyde. We're going to get a good look at that tonight. I'm excited for it. So NFL kickoff tonight. We are, it's ESPN had the ticker. We're inside of 4 hours from, I guess, 3 hours and 54 minutes away from kickoff tonight on NBC. You will hear that game, by the way, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge if you're listening in the greater Baton Rouge area. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Quick break. We'll come back. Brian Broussard, director of the LSU ticket office. He's going to join us when we come back next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV, which means the NFL on TV tonight. If you need a place to watch Chiefs, Texans, get by Pluckers. Great opportunity to get by Pluckers tonight because every Thursday is all-you-can-eat boneless wings. So go now. If you're done at 3:30, you're done with work, you want to knock off a little early, go to Pluckers now. Have a few pops. Ice-cold draft beer. They got a full-service bar, so if you're not drinking beer, no sweat. Start ordering your jumbo boneless chicken wings because they'll keep serving them to you until you can't eat any more of them. Nicholson or Bluebonnet, dine in or carry out. If you want to ring in the NFL season and Power 3 football tonight, do it at Pluckers. Nicholson or Bluebonnet, you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
When it's clearance time, smart customers rush to Richard's Honda because all your favorite Honda models are at fantastic prices. And with our fanatical customer care, it's no wonder people call Richard's Honda the smart choice.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At Cornell Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a RAV4 for $3,000 off MSRP. That's right, $3,000 off MSRP. And we have plenty in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cornell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Your Honda needs some TLC, and Richards Honda is the smart place to get it. With oil changes at just $39. And with so many service bays, you'll be in and out super fast.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Okay, yesterday we learned that LSU is reducing capacity to 25% for home football games. The man who has the unenviable job trying to figure out how to ticket Tiger Stadium is Brian Broussard, who's in charge of the LSU ticket office. But Brian's good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here on this Thursday edition of AFR. Brian, thanks for the time as always, man. How are you?
Doing well. How about yourself, Matt?
I'm probably doing better and a little more sane than you are right now. How many contingencies did you and your office work toward yesterday?
I don't think I have enough fingers on the hands or toes, to count all of them, but we've worked through a few.
Did you plan, is it safe to say that you planned for full capacity, for 75%, for 50%, for 20%, for social distancing, all of those different possibilities?
Yes, everything on the map. Obviously, you've probably heard, when it first started, we dropped in cases. We were thinking full go, so we were planning on full capacity. It's changed over the past few months, and we've been, working on the other side of the spectrum, and it ended up being, in the, I don't want to say the worst case scenario, but it's not the best by any means.
Yeah.
The worst case would be not doing it at all, not playing. So obviously we're pleased to at least try and give it a go.
Yeah. At what point did you all think, you had mentioned when cases were dropping, so you're talking summer months, y'all were thinking you'd be capacity?
Or, closer. We were trying to work out ways where the season ticket holders could be whole, students could have an allotment, maybe not sell to single game tickets, just trying to work out ways for our season ticket holders to be whole. And, back then, I don't remember everything that happened, but back then the cases were going down rapidly, and everyone thought it might work out to where we could make something like that happen. Yeah. People could sit in the lower bowl together. If you wanted to be separated, you could go in the upper decks or something to that effect. That was one of the ideas out there, out of many.
Brian, and obviously the reality is what it is, but I'm glad you would illustrate that just so people can understand all of the different ways that you all have worked through this. So now we've settled on 25%, and as the note the press release noted in bold, it was literally in bold, that all of this is subject to change either before or after. How does the process begin or continue for you and your office to distribute these 25,000 thereabout tickets?
So we still have an opt-out period because we wanted to have a second opt-out. We had a first one a while back, but we wanted to have a second one once all the stipulations and regulations were put in place to make sure everyone was had full all the information that we could give them in their possession.
Sure.
To make their decision. Obviously, there's still a lot of unknowns that we don't even have the answers for, but there's this current opt-out period that ends Friday. Once that's done, we're assuming everyone who's in is expected to, is in. So we're going to work off of those numbers that are remaining. And obviously the capacity includes students. All the special groups. So when we say roughly 25,000, that doesn't mean 25,000 season ticket holders are getting all those tickets. It's obviously, you can almost look at it as if it's a neutral site game or a bowl game where, hey, we got 25,000 tickets, but we've got to take care of all the groups that we always have to take care of, students, all the way down the line, and then we go to the season ticket holders. So it's going to be I don't want fans to think 25,000. It's going to be a lower number than that we have to work off of. I don't know the exact number because we are making reductions on them as well. Outside of the players and the coaches' families, those are going to be, that's the reason why everybody's going. So those people should get what they deserve out of that. But there's going to be cuts made in those categories as well, but off of like a normal home game. But there's definitely cuts made there. And then we're going to work off of that and then, look at the quantities that everyone has, start to make cuts based on, their rankings. And then after that, we're going to have to work on, okay, well, this person sat in the south end zone. We want to try and get them back near that area. We'll have to see how all that plays out. And that a lot of that's based off of how many people are still left, all that kind of stuff. All these variables that are still moving on us right now. We'll have basically a week to do it all.
Isn't that crazy? Brian Broussard's our guest. So, all right. So a couple of things as you were talking there, I jotted down a few notes. Number one, do you know the number of the percentage as of now that have opted out, the percentage of season ticket holders that have opted out?
Opted out, we're like 62, low 60s, 62% right now.
Okay. So, and that number could rise before tomorrow.
Yeah.
But so let's say it ends up somewhere around 70% opt-outs or 30% opt-in. Is there any way of guessing? And Brian, I do understand that like some season ticket holders have 2 tickets. Some have 20 tickets. So it's really tough. But have you all gauged if it is 30% that want their seats, how many tickets that is, like in total?
We've looked at some models on it. I mean, just you're asking if they're going to get what totals they might get or just how many?
I guess I'm just trying to think of how many season tickets, not ticket holder accounts, but how much of the capacity of Tiger Stadium that is made up of season tickets are going to be people that want that seat, that say, okay, I want my seats. Like, because if it's more than that 25,000 number, then you got a really, really tricky case.
Yeah.
If it's
right
less,
now,
then it makes things a little easier for your office, right? If it's less than that 25,000?
Yeah. Right now we're above it. We're in the close to 30. So, we've got work to do. Not that I'm asking people to opt out.
But you're kind of asking people to opt out. We had this conversation with Robert Munson yesterday. It's so weird, Brian. Normally, everyone's trying to figure out how can we get more in the stadium? How can we get more people on campus? And now it's like, please don't come.
Right.
It's so strange.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. So, yeah, we're at the 30,000. Well, back to what I said before, 25 is not the number we have to meet. We have to meet, maybe, below 20, below, in the teens range of getting season ticket holders. So we have to make some cuts.
Yeah.
We've looked at the modeling, and everyone would get at least 2. If they had to. If they had 1, obviously they'd get 1, but there's a few out there like that. But they would get 2. Obviously, the higher their rank, they may get more. It's not that, don't quote me that, like, your audience, don't put it out there. Broussard said everybody's getting 2 and that's it. But we're obviously, there will be some levels that will get more, but the big thing is we're trying to make it to where everybody gets a full season ticket. I think that was a misconception out there that we were going to, break it up into packages and things like that. That's happened at some schools. They're still working through it some places, but our intent is a full package of tickets, but the reduction in quantity is, what's going to happen there.
Brian Broussard's our guest. So you're trying to get people their seats as close to where their seats actually are. How much variance do you expect there to be, Brian? Like, could there be someone who sits in the north end zone that ends up in the upper deck, or are they generally going to be in that area?
Still don't know for sure. There will be some variance. To be honest, there will be variance on the sideline, the west sideline. That's where all the players' families, the coaches' families, we don't have recruits right away, but if we ever do have recruits, they may end up taking those spaces. That, a lot of that eats up a lot of space.
Yeah.
So, it's going to domino a little bit if a lot of our West Side fans want tickets and still are opted in. So, we're obviously going to have some that will be able to seat, but then there will be some that will have to relocate to either the east sideline or one of the end zones based on how we can make it all fit. I mean, our intent is to hopefully not put anybody, let's say, the dreaded, from the lower level to the upper level, but it may. I mean, I can't promise that it won't happen.
A couple of more for you. You mentioned also their ranking. So the priority will go, if you end up having more requested seats than you have, the priority ranking would go based on your TAF priority point ranking?
That would be how we would work off of for the quantity first.
Okay.
And then the actual location will be prioritized by where they are, and then by the quantity. I mean the ranking as well. So I mean, if we're not going to move somebody who's ranked high on the south end zone to the west side because they're higher ranked. Mm-hmm. We're going to try and keep a west or an east side person in. Same thing for the upper deck. I mean, if someone's ranked high and they're in the upper deck, they're probably going to just stay in the upper deck. They're not going to move to the south end zone or north end zone just because they're higher ranked than a current north end zone person who's still in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
a couple more. No, I understand. And I think it's good we're having this conversation, Brian, because as much ambiguity as there is, I think this helps people understand how hard this is. What about prices? Do prices for the games remain the same? The prices, the season price will go down between $25 and $50 based on the area of the stadium. So, $550 and $400, all the way down to $400 were our season prices. Well, they're going to go down to $500 and $375. So they're going to be reduced somewhat to reflect, we're adding an SEC game. We're losing 2 non-conference opponents. So it'll be a reduction. There's no reduction in the contribution, the per seat. Okay. I mean, that all makes sense. I mean, you would fewer games, you would expect the total number is going to be less, even though you add SEC games, so that price is going to be different. One more, secondary market. Are you expecting there to be tickets that move on the secondary market?
Yeah. I mean, we're expecting it. None of us know what the market's going to look like. I mean, obviously there's less demand. Less supply.
Yeah. But
there's, the experience isn't the same. So some people are not going to be all in on a 25% capacity Tiger Stadium. It might not be. They're not going to pay top dollar for that. Maybe, we don't know. Yeah. But there will be an allowable market for it for sure.
Hey man, and obviously you all have a deal with the StubHub is the official secondary market, right? That's where you all have the official, and all tickets are digital this year. We know that, so that makes that whole process easier if it transpires that way. But it's the one thing I know this is you got so many fans who have Ironman streaks. They've been forever. They're gonna find a way to get into the stadium, however they have to do it. So here's hoping that this process goes as smoothly as it possibly can. Thanks for shedding a little light today, Brian. I appreciate it. If we can help get information out to anybody throughout this process, give us a shout, man.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, it's our pleasure. That's Brian Broussard, Associate AD, is in charge of ticketing and game operations. So you want to talk about an unenviable task? That guy's got it. How do you? I've said this a million times over the last 6 months. There are no good answers. There aren't. You just try to find the best of all the bad answers, and roll with it. Understand that you're gonna upset people, but you try to do the best you can, and that's the task. Hey, Brian, you can't win here. That's his job. Hey, I know you can't win. You can't win for trying, but we need you to try. That's what that guy's got to do. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you aboard with us. A Thursday show is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Remember, our Sazerac prize pack giveaway, the backpack cooler tailgate chair all-in-one, the Bluetooth speaker lanterns, and Sazerac swag, shirts, bottle openers, cups, koozies, all of that. We're giving away another prize pack. Go to the Sazerac Rye Whiskey Instagram account. Follow their page. Find any post with the Sazerac bottle. Share it to your story. Tag me. We'll pick the winner at the end of the show today. Fantasy Blitz is next. Before you set your roster, set with whotostart.com.
AFR.
Think real estate? think Darren James. If you were even thinking about selling your home, do what I did. Do what my parents did. Call Darren James and get your home sold. Or you can log on to agent225.com. Most user-friendly website in real estate, agent225.com. Every home listed by every company all in one place, agent225.com. Let me just let you know that if you are thinking about selling your home, a lot of people say, I'm just going to sell it by myself. I'm going to save the commission. 73%, in the state of Louisiana, 73% of people that list their home for sale by owner end up hiring a realtor. And maybe it's a lot different. Maybe you didn't price it correctly. Maybe you're just not available to do showings. Whatever the case may be. 73%. Save yourself the time and the money. Call Darren James and get your home sold. 335-7666. 335-7666. Think real estate. Think Darren James.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Prompt, professional, reliable. If you're looking for a breath of fresh air with your AC and heating needs, call the professionals at Anison Bitter. Anison Bitter, a Rheem Pro partner, keeping your family comfortable for over 25 years.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. After further review, this is the Fantasy Football Blitz.
Do you know who I am?
Powered by whodostart.com.
Who the hell are you?
whodostart.com.
Peekaboo!
The Fantasy Football Blitz.
Who the pittance?
This is the Fantasy Football Blitz, powered by whodostart.com on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 104.5 ESPN.com.
8 consecutive years we've done this. Darren Tietgen, our friend from who2start.com, the numeral 2, who2start.com. Check it out. Personalized fantasy football advice before you set your roster. Make sure you check with our friends at who2start.com. And honestly, it just feels like football season when we're talking to Darren on a Thursday. How are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. Has it been 8 years already?
This is year number 8. I know it's this season number 8. Stunning to think, but yeah, man, it has been that long, amazingly, since we met at I think TJ Ribs whenever that you had a lunch 8 years ago, whenever it was. But yeah, glad to have you back, man. Hey, let's start with tonight's ball game, as we always do. Chiefs, Texans. A lot of people here are super excited about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. What are you forecasting?
Yeah, there should be some points scored in this game. So obviously, if you have Pat Mahomes, he's our leading quarterback this week against a good Texans defense, but that Chiefs offense is really going to hum along this season, given no COVID changes or anybody getting hurt. CEH, as we like to call him, should figure into the mix tonight. Look for him to be brought along a little slowly, though. I know that Darrell Williams is at a good camp, also an ex-LSU Tigers, I take it. Should be part of that mix. But, yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire should have a great season, especially in PPR.
Anybody else we're keeping an eye on tonight?
I always like to look at the secondary receivers for the Chiefs, just because, I mean, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, they're going to get theirs. But guys like Sammy Watkins could be had for really, really cheap. And, you know, those guys get targets too. And, you know, with Patrick Mahomes under center, I look for guys like Sammy Watkins, maybe Byron Pringle if you're in a super, super deep league. Maybe he's the guy that steps up as that second wide receiver. On the other side of the ball, I'm really, really liking Randall Cobb this year. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is gone. That was like 100 and, I don't know, some odd targets, 100 some odd receptions just gone from that offense. So, you think Brandon Cooks is going to completely replace that? I don't think so. Will Fuller, he can't stay healthy. So Randall Cobb's a name that I'm looking for as a deep sleeper this year.
Always good stuff. All right, let's get to your questions. If you're not familiar, fire away. Ask your question to Darren. We'll get it on the air. If we miss it, you can always get to who2start.com. It's the numeral 2, who2start.com. All right, Trevor Ward in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. What do you think, David Johnson or Dalvin Cook? Who to start?
We like David Johnson long-term. He should be fitting in with that offense just fine, but Dalvin Cook's like a top 10 fantasy wide receiver this week, so we're rolling with Cook there if you have those two.
Alex Day has a question about a guy you just mentioned, Brandon Cooks or Devin Singletary. Who to start at flex?
I would go with Cooks just because he's going to be that primary option, replacing DeAndre Hopkins. He may not be replacing him 100% tit for tat, but he should get quite a few looks. Singletary, we do like long-term as a flex play, maybe as a second wide or a second running back, but I think Cooks is probably your better flex play tonight.
Bo Wilson asks, who to start, Kyler Murray or Big Ben?
Man, we're expecting big things out of Kyler Murray, but that's a tough go at San Francisco for his first week this year. I think I'd go Big Ben with the Monday night matchup at the Giants. That defense probably not as good as San Francisco for sure, but yeah, Big Ben in his return, I think I'd plug him in.
A lot of people asking about Alvin Kamara and what you're projecting. I would assume both for this weekend against Tampa, but also for the season.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I mean, obviously the holdout wasn't really necessarily a holdout. He said that he's completely focused on this game, and it's a good matchup against the Bucs. Bucs do have a good offense, but they're super, super aggressive, which means he's going to find spots, emptying out from those edges. Drew Brees will drop the ball off to him. If you're in a PPR league, he's certainly a top play. I think we have him at the third or fourth spot this week, behind the likes of Christian McCaffrey and Ezekiel Elliott. But he's right up there with him, and he should have a fantastic season.
Got about a minute left with Darren Tietgen. Connor Brooks is asking about Mike Evans. He was on the injury report yesterday for Tampa. What are you projecting for Evans?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tenuous situation. They're saying that it could head right up until kickoff. I have Evans in a couple of leagues, and I'm bookmarking those pages and waiting to hear Sunday morning what happens. I'd be surprised if he plays. That hamstring's been bothering him since last year. So, I mean, this is a big divisional game, way to kick off the season. If he could go, he'll be a good play. But at this point, you just got to wait.
Last one, Graham Nash, Emmanuel Sanders, or CeeDee Lamb, who to start?
Really love Sanders, especially in PPR formats. Drew Brees has really never had like that second option. Jared Cook obviously would be an outlet for him, but he's going to be nicely paired with Michael Thomas on the other side. I really like Sanders this week.
He is Darren Tietgen, who2start.com, the numeral 2, who2start.com, personalized fantasy football advice before you set your roster. Check with the guys at who2start.com. Appreciate you, Darren. We'll talk next week, man. Thanks.
All right. Glad to be back.
Us as well. It's After Further Review. Put a button here on hour number 1. Coming back right after SportsCenter. Kickoff hour 2 next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. Amazing opportunity to do a great deal right now at South Point Volkswagen. I tell you all the time. You get the great German engineering without the cost. You support American because they're manufactured in the USA at their Tennessee plant, and you get great deals as well. Largest volume Volkswagen dealer, South Point Volkswagen, so they can do a better deal for you. Like right now, Atlas Cross Sport S. That's the 3-row, 7-seater family SUV. You can lease right now for $319 a month. Tiguan, that's the compact SUV. How about $229 a month? Drive luxury, drive that great German engineering affordably. South Point Volkswagen. Remember, they got more than 100 certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot as well right now. So if you're shopping certified pre-owned, make sure you shop South Point Volkswagen as well. Airline just north of Highland or SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direct?
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. At this hour, Patrick Mahomes leads the Chiefs against Deshaun Watson and the Texans in the NFL season opener tonight. That is $633 million worth of contracts on the field, and the NFL could not find a better way to kick off the 2020 season than with the Mahomes-Watson matchup, according to ESPN's Louis Riddick.
Pat, we already know. There's people like myself who already said he's ready to go into the Hall of Fame, and we say that tongue-in-cheek, but the kid is just special. And Deshaun Watson, although he doesn't have the same kind of supporting cast that Pat Mahomes has, he is nonetheless as electric as they come, especially with his ability to make off-schedule plays.
Our Louis Riddick. Jadeveon Clowney said today head coach Mike Vrabel was a key in his decision to sign with the Titans. The two previously spent time together with Houston. Clowney called Vrabel one of the smartest coaches he's ever had. And Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott said he sought help for anxiety and depression in the offseason, brought on by the death of his older brother Jace and the coronavirus pandemic. By being upfront with his feelings, Prescott is hoping that he can help others.
Brought to you by Cooper Tires. Go with great tires that do what tires should do and cost what tires should cost. Go with the Coopers.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
The Brain.
Hey, the brain got a poop.
And Mr. Toby Tom, play. We're here. Glad you are as well. Make it a good one. Great opportunity right now. Win your Sazerac Rye tailgate prize pack. You know the drill. Go to the Sazerac Rye Instagram page. Like their page. Find any post with the 3 bottles. As a matter of fact, they just posted one. This was, they posted this 31 minutes ago. It's a post with 3 Sazerac bottles. Do that one. Share it to your story. There's a little arrow right there. Tap the arrow, share it to your story, tag me in your story so I can see it, and then we'll randomize it at the end. We'll pick a winner, and we'll look forward to that. Okay, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We're going to talk to Travers Mackel from WDSU in about 12 minutes. And WDSU in New Orleans, Travers, there was a press conference today with the mayor of New Orleans, and candidly, I live in Baton Rouge. I don't live in New Orleans. I don't know a lot about the mayor there, but as I understand it, the governor today moved us into Phase 3, yet New Orleans apparently is staying in Phase 2, and now there's a lot of ambiguity about what that means for high school sports, for Tulane, and for the Saints. So, and Travers got into a little bit of a heated back and forth. It's hard to say it was heated because he was really respectful. He was just pressing, doing his job, and it became contentious with the mayor and I guess their medical expert, who was the other person in the video answering questions. We'll play you some of that in a bit. Travers is going to join us about 12 minutes. Try to give us some answers, like how are they going to play football if there's no football allowed in New Orleans? So we'll get to that shortly. What we do know, of course, is that Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints will be on the field on Sunday in the Superdome, and my goodness, is that a gorgeous thought. It's a bitter disappointment that there won't be fans there. I understand that. But like we started the show today, like we talked about yesterday with LSU's capacity, if this is the compromise to have football, I'm in. Okay, if this is what we have to do to placate the Debbie Downers, okay. Right, that's a new drop. And anytime I talk about anybody who is a Chicken Little, a COVID case counter, they're a Debbie Downer. Put it on lock, brain. Put it on lock. But Drew Brees was on a conference call and met with the media, and he gave a quote which certainly made the rounds here of late.
Hey, this time, man, I'm on borrowed time. I got nothing to lose. So I'm turning it loose and letting the chips fall where they may. I know that everything happens for a reason, and that in most cases, failure is the best teacher. That's the approach I've always taken. That's the approach this team has taken. And I feel like we found a way to garner strength from each one of these moments from over the last few years. And it's only made us better, and it's only brought us closer to the ultimate prize.
I love that from Drew Brees. Can you play the very beginning of it again, Brain? I mean, understanding context, you're talking about a man that's 41 years old, that's won a Super Bowl, that's been on the doorstep 3 straight years and lost in just bitter disappointment. And it felt like he was retiring. That was all the word that Mike Detillier shared with us around the Pro Bowl, that Drew was done. And then somewhere along the way, he had a change of heart, reconsidered, and came back. And now on the, a couple of days before the season opener against Tampa, he says this.
Hey, this time, man, I'm on borrowed time. I got nothing to lose.
Got nothing to lose. Go for broke, man. It feels like that's what this organization is doing right now. A lot of people have wondered, could this kind of be like, Peyton Manning at the end in Denver? And it's been 5 years since Peyton retired, but I think that's the most obvious comp. You talk about a historically great quarterback on a really good team trying to win a championship on the way out. And, could Drew have a season like Peyton had his last year in Denver when you just know it's time? And sometimes it's hard to project, even with Peyton. I mean, when you go back, and I did a refresher on this today. When you go back and look at 2014 and then 2015, Peyton's final season, the contrast is stark. I mean, it just abruptly came to an end and you knew it was over. In 2014, Peyton Manning played in all 16 games. He threw for 4,727 yards, 39 touchdowns, and 15 picks. 1 year later, just 9 games, 2,200 yards, so less than half the yardage, just 9 touchdowns in 9 games, and 17 interceptions. Peyton Manning threw 2 more interceptions in 7 fewer games than he did in 2014. 2014, full season, 15 picks. 2015, 9 games, 17 picks. It was over. So you look at Brees last year, and he only played the 11 games. We know he missed 5 games. But in those games, he set a career record with 74% completion percentage, through 27 touchdowns and just 4 picks. 27 touchdowns in 11 games to just 4 interceptions. Drew was the NFL's offensive player, the NFC's offensive player of the month in December, the last month of the season. He was still elite the last time we saw him. And this is probably it for Drew. I would, if I had to bet everything I own, I think this is it for Drew Brees. It's his last season. And I don't know that we see the type of drop-off that we saw with Peyton Manning his last year in Denver. A lot of that was certainly due to injury. But when it happens quickly. It happened quickly for Peyton, and it could happen for Drew. But I understand what he's saying there, man. Hey, man, I'm on borrowed time. So go for broke. I love it. Saints and Bucks Sunday in the Dome. We saw the first injury report on Wednesday, and there was some concern from Saints fans with 2 really significant names on that injury report, with Marcus Davenport and Cesar Ruiz. So Davenport did not participate with an elbow injury, and then Ruiz apparently has an ankle injury and did not participate. At least that's how it was listed on the injury report. And there's been some freak out over this, but I want to remind you that it's very common for players to get a day off, but you have to list something on the injury report. We're going to see an injury report later today. Let's see if Davenport or Ruiz participate. Really, until Friday, I'm not super concerned about it. If they're on the injury report on Friday and not practicing on Friday, then you're legitimately concerned. The bigger news is on the other side, where Mike Evans, who has battling a hamstring injury, did not participate. And as we know, sometimes soft tissue injuries take a long time to get over, and you can't rush that. So that's going to be more interesting to watch than Davenport's elbow or Ruiz's ankle. But if Ruiz or Davenport aren't able to participate, the bigger loss clearly would be Davenport. I mean, you've got to be able to put pressure on Tom Brady, considering all the weapons that he has. You know, you got Cam Jordan. The Saints were very good last year at getting to the quarterback, third in the NFL with 51 sacks. Let's see if you can replicate that pressure on Tom Brady, who is notoriously amazing at getting rid of the football quickly. As for Cesar Ruiz, he's never played an NFL snap. I mean, Nick Easton is presumably the backup there at right guard, and Easton's played in 33 career games in 3 years. He started 23, including 6 starts last year in New Orleans with 11 games played. You got a very experienced interior player who can take that spot if need be. So I'd love to see Ruiz out there to make his NFL debut, but if he can't, okay, you have a viable backup there. I do question what you do if Davenport isn't able to go. That probably means Trey Hendrickson becomes your starter, just elevates the pressure on Hendrickson, on Carl Granderson, and it lessens your depth there, your quality depth. So let's see what the injury report looks like today when we get it. But really, Friday is the day where if these guys aren't practicing, that's when you really have a concern over it. But not going to freak out over that just yet. There is one more guy on the injury report from yesterday. The Saints put on IR that I'll talk about a bit later in the show. Because it was when the Saints announced their first 53 and they had a second punter on the list, a lot of people went, what the hell are they doing? Well, this explains it, but we'll get to that a bit later in the show. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet, Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey, and Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. I mentioned last week that we were planning to do the an AFR ideal protein diet where everybody could go and maybe participate in a contest over at Aesthetic where we'll all go in, you'll weigh, you'll meet with their nutritionist, you'll get on the ideal protein diet like I'm going to do as well over there. We'll all do it together, and we'll have a big contest. We're finalizing that on Monday. So hopefully Monday's show, I'll be able to tell you all the specifics about that. So thanks to everyone who gave us great feedback on that. A lot of people put on quarantine pounds just like I did. If you're that and you want to lose that weight, we'll all do it together with our help with the help of our friends over at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. All right, it's After Further Review. Quick break. Let's head down to New Orleans. Travers Mackel is going to join us next, talk about what in the world happened at that press conference with the mayor and if they're actually going to play football in New Orleans, high school, college, and apparently pro.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Premier South Roofing and PremierSouthLA.com. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, North Shore, and online at PremierSouthLA.com. Remember, with Premier South Roofing, it doesn't matter what type of roof you're looking for, needing to repair or replace. Premier South Roofing can do it all. If it's a shingle roof, if it's metal or tile, slate, awnings, gutters, they do all of it. You can get to their website. You can read reviews. You can see pictures of their work. They have a roof visualizer. They have so many properties available for you, so many options available for you. And remember, at Premier South Roofing, they fabricate their own metals. So that means they can offer you the longest labor warranty in the business because they know how it was made because they made it. They can also offer you customized jobs that other companies can't. Premier South Roofing sets itself apart. It's just not a surprise when you go all over town and you see their trucks and their trailers all over commercial and residential jobs in the greater Baton Rouge area. Not just Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and the North Shore. It's Premier South Roofing, PremierSouthLA.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Here at the Big Squeezy, we continue to serve the Baton Rouge and Southeast Louisiana areas during these troubling times. We are dedicated to providing you healthy food items to help you live your best life. From our cold-pressed juices to our delicious smoothies. Let the Big Squeezy keep you going. Stay active, stay happy, and let us help you stay healthy. Visit us at our locations and also inside of Alexander's and Mathern's grocery stores or online at thebigsqueezy.com.
Craving garden color? Clegg's Nursery is bursting with color, grown fresh in our greenhouses. Colorful bedding plants, incredible edibles, flowering shrubs, and beautiful trees.
Our business is knowing, the business of growing. Yard and garden questions are answered here.
Clegg's is a must-do family tradition. Just plant something. It's good for mind, body, and soul. Clegg's Nursery, serving Baton Rouge and Denham Springs. CleggsNursery.com.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who do.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Mayor Cantrell's press conference in New Orleans today became somewhat contentious. Travers Mackel of WDSU was asking a question about high school sports in the city, and this is how it played out, a short clip of it.
I apologize. It's kind of a similar question, but we get a lot of questions. I'm going to make it hopefully simple as possible. Yes or no, can high schools play football starting today in October in the city of New Orleans? Yes or no?
I just answered that question.
But it wasn't, with all due respect, I think there's a lot of confusion.
With all due respect, phase 2, what confusion? We've been in phase 2. We will remain in phase 2. The guidelines are very clear.
So yes or no, can high schools play football?
Phase 2. What does it say?
I'm just asking yes or no.
Well, you're asking me a question. However, you thoroughly understand what phase 2 means. You also understand the guidelines that are in place, and that's where the city of New Orleans will remain as it relates to football.
That's Mayor Cantrell in New Orleans, and our guest Travers Mackel from WDSU is asking the question. Travers, thanks for a couple of minutes, man. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on.
No,
it's been a busy day. It was kind of a hectic afternoon. Didn't see that coming, but things turn out the way they do.
What was the impetus for asking the question? Well, actually, can you just start by letting our audience know what that press conference, what that press briefing was, just so they have the background?
Sure. It was an update for the Orleans Parish Public School System, announcing that they like the numbers they see and they're moving forward with letting pre-K through fourth grade kids back into in-class learning later on this month, which is a great step in the right direction for the city of New Orleans. So most of the media was there to get the mayor because she canceled her Tuesday press briefing, which her staff usually has. We've been fielding a lot of calls. The LHSAA has been high school football is a big deal across the state. The LHSAA clearly last week announced it and this week took action on giving the green light for schools to start practice today, full contact, and start games in October. But we had heard that may not be the case in New Orleans. As you know, a lot of times when the governor moved us into phase 2, the mayor said, I want to wait a little bit in New Orleans. And she said that today when it comes to phase 3, it looks like. The LHSAA said that any parish president and mayor can supersede them, that those elected officials have the final say. So I think everybody wanted to just get a definitive answer on, hey, yes or no, can all of the great prep teams in New Orleans start practicing today and start playing in October? And that's really what we asked, was just a yes or no answer. She kept referring us back to phase 2, which I don't know why she didn't say, no, they can't play football under phase 2. I mean, I understand the political optics of saying that, but phase 2 doesn't allow for contact sports in the city of New Orleans right now. So based on what she announced today, there are no prep teams. You know, 2 of the best public schools are Carr and Warren Easton. Some of the best private schools, Rummel played in the state championship Rummel's in Jefferson Parish, but Jesuit, Brother Martin, Holy Cross, St. Aug, Newman. We have great private schools. According to what she said, they cannot move forward with full contact practice or games right now.
And so to be clear, you said that was an Orleans Parish school meeting. So asking about the LHSAA would certainly be relevant in that context.
Right. Right.
Do the private schools and the public schools operate under a different set of rules? I guess a better way of saying it, are the private schools in Orleans Parish still under that jurisdiction?
Yeah, that's why we were looking for clarification, Matt. Yes, I believe so, but I don't know. Like, here's a great example for people from your listening audience and viewing audience who are familiar with this. I'll use an example. Jesuit High School is in New Orleans, but they have a facility that's in Jefferson Parish where they practice. So if they're going to Jefferson Parish to practice, could they play games in Jefferson Parish? I know that Holy Cross's football coach, which is in New Orleans, has been outspoken about, hey, look, we'll just go play games in another parish, St. Bernard or Jefferson Parish. I'm assuming that they could do that. I don't know if the LHSAA would intervene. As for the public schools, a lot of the public schools practice on public parks, which they won't be able to do. So nobody wanted it to be combative, or as, I guess, what it led to today. We were just asking a simple yes or no. I mean, I think that if the answer is no, we were just asking the mayor to let our viewers know, no, you can't play contact football in New Orleans right now. I don't think it's safe, and go from there. But she kept referring people back to the phase 2 plan. I don't know why, she didn't say, hey, look, my phase 2 plan says no contact sports. Her chief medical officer got up there and then said that. That means no contact sports. Well, then our next question, which gets to a bigger story, is Tulane is in the city of New Orleans. Yeah. They are uptown. They have been practicing football since last month. Have they been in complete violation of city guidelines? Because they've been practicing contact football and they play a home game in about 10 days on the uptown campus. Can they play that game? What about the Saints on Sunday? They did give us clarification on the Saints. The city told us they had no clue about what Tulane was doing, which was interesting. They then told us about the Saints. They said that the Saints are seeking a special permit from the state to play on Sunday, which that's the first time that's come out. I know that some national outlets have grabbed that and kind of run with that right now about Saints have to seek special permit to play on Sunday. So our question was, if high school kids can't play contact sports and football, how is Tulane and how are the Saints? And they gave us an answer about the Saints, but they still haven't given us an answer about Tulane. We don't know how yet. I don't know if they got some special permit that nobody knows about. That's another bigger topic if that's the case. Or if Tulane is just saying, hey, you know what, we do our own thing. We feel like we're a private university and those rules don't pertain to us.
Travers Mackle for a couple more minutes on Twitter at Travers WDSU. Give him a follow. You go see the video. The full 2-minute video is there on his Twitter account. I retweeted it a bit ago if you want to see the full interaction there that he referenced. Why is the mayor of New Orleans keeping the city in phase 2?
Look, she's been firm and been she's a big believer, and obviously she uses this line. We can all recite it: data over dates. She feels like the medical data that they're getting doesn't allow her to move into phase 3. It's going in a positive direction in the city of New Orleans. I mean, 4 months ago, 5 months ago, New Orleans was ground zero, not just for the state, but one of the hot spots across the country. But we have seen some progress. The Dr. Jennifer Avegno, laid that out today. That's why schools are moving forward for late September. But I think the mayor wants to take a more cautious approach, which is good. All we set out today, and really all week to do, and not just us, every media outlet that was there asked a question related to this topic like this. So they all asked these kind of topics, all asked these kinds of questions, and they all, I think, wanted to get the definitive answer on prep football and contact sports.
When do you anticipate, or do you know, when there might be a definitive answer for Preps and then also Tulane?
I don't know. We're working on the Tulane story for tonight. We've reached out to their public information officer asking, hey, can you give us some clarification? If she was firm today, I mean, you can listen to it. Anybody can.
Yeah.
Phase 2 means no contact. So how is an 18-year-old freshman at Tulane, which I think they have about 20 freshmen on their team, how are they practicing football on a piece of property in the city of New Orleans? We're reaching out to them for comment. I don't know. They do have a game. They play this week on the road. They play next week at home. And then with the Saints, where it was interesting when they said they're reaching out to the state. None of us knew that. I don't think anybody knew that. I think that the mayor essentially and Dr. Jennifer Avegno broke a piece of news for everybody of, hey, the Saints are getting I think they said a conditional use or workplace use permit from the state to play there on Sunday. So, but I don't have a question. I don't have an answer, Matt, for Tulane. We asked.
Okay.
The initial response from Dr. Avegno was Tulane doesn't fall under the LHSCA, which we respectfully said, yeah, we know they fall under the city of New Orleans. So if phase 2 means no contact, how are 18 to 21-year-old college kids doing full contact drills, and how will they play a game here in 10 days? I mean, maybe there's something that nobody knew about that they can apply for some kind of permit. I don't think people knew, and you've covered this. We've covered this across the state. All 64 parishes are touched by COVID. I don't think anybody knew that the Saints could apply for that and get some kind of permit to play football on Sunday. So that was news to everybody.
Everybody here shaking their head. Like, I don't think anybody knew this. So we all proceed. All right, so we'll wait and see what answer you get from Tulane. Make sure you're following Travers on Twitter at TraversWDSU, and I presume we'll have that report tonight. Thanks for a couple of minutes, man. If you get any clarification, let us know.
All right, Matt. I appreciate you having me on, too.
No,
Thank you.
Thanks for making a couple of minutes. All righty, that's Travers Mackle. I want to play the full 2 minutes. So again, what you're going to hear, if you're listening, you'll hear the mayor of New Orleans. You'll hear Travers, who is just with us, asking the questions. You'll hear the mayor, and then you'll hear the chief medical officer as well, who steps to the podium after the mayor leaves. And I'm not embellishing. She's miffed. She was put off by the contentious nature and walked away. And then the chief medical officer stepped to the mic. So this is what you'll hear.
I apologize. It's kind of a similar question, but we get a lot of questions. I'm going to make it hopefully simple as possible. Yes or no, can high schools play football starting today in October in the city of New Orleans? Yes or no?
I just answered that question.
But it wasn't, with all due respect, I think there's a lot of confusion.
With all due respect, phase 2, what confusion? We've been in phase 2. We will remain in phase 2. The guidelines are very clear.
So yes or no, can high schools play football?
Phase 2. What does it say?
I'm just asking yes or no.
Well, you're asking me a question. However, you thoroughly understand what phase 2 means. You also understand the guidelines that are in place, and that's where the city of New Orleans will remain as it relates to football.
So I had one more question. Sorry.
I mean, just to be clear,
sure.
There are.
Can you answer that, Ms. Dr.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not. That's not the question. So the question.
It's yes or no. I think people watching this want to know yes or no.
As of now, in the phase 2 guidance in the city of New Orleans, contact sports are not allowed. Okay. There are guidance that allow for non-contact drills, which the schools have all been doing. So what a football team could do 2 days ago, they can continue to do today. As of now, until we see how LHSAA has any plan to keep children and coaches safe, that will not change until we can figure that out.
How is Tulane practicing football, and how are the Saints playing on Sunday in the city of New Orleans?
So the Saints have applied to the state for a workplace exception, that this is their place of work. The LHSAA does not govern Tulane football.
Okay. But what about the city? Isn't Tulane the city of New Orleans? So how are they practicing contact sports on a campus in the city of New Orleans?
I haven't had a conversation with Tulane about what they're practicing or not practicing.
But they were practicing for a month. Sorry.
So I haven't lived in New Orleans since July of 1989. That's a really bad look for the leadership of that city. And listen, y'all, I'm not a political person. I mean, some of you don't believe me. I really don't care if you believe me or not. I am agnostic when it comes to politics. R, D, red, blue, I don't care. That's an awful look. When you have a Division I football program, a football bowl subdivision program in your city that has an uptown facility that's practicing, that's scheduled to play a game in your city in 10 days, and you're saying you didn't even know that? Somebody got some splaining to do. Oh, by the way, I think the mayor with her football answer certainly belongs on the Debbie Downer list. All right, quick break. Saints dodged a bullet with Clowney. We'll talk about this. Tigers and the pros coming up. Mike Triplett, 45 minutes from right now. Hopefully we have the updated Saints injury report by the time Mike joins us. Stick around. Glad you're with us on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana.
AFR.
Man, very happy to endorse our friends over at the Baton Rouge General Hospital because they've taken care of our community above and beyond during COVID. Already what the Baton Rouge General already did, treating cancer patients, delivering babies, performing emergent procedures and elective procedures. And then they added COVID care on top of that, which stretched them to their limits, but all they did was continue to respond. That's the Baton Rouge General Hospital. I'm proud to endorse them. brgeneral.org to learn more. brgeneral.org to learn more about COVID information that you may need, about the virtual visits that they have available, about the reopening of the emergency room at the Baton Rouge General Mid-City location, about their surgery fast pass. If you want a touchless registration for your procedure, you can do it. brgeneral.org. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. Learn more. brgeneral.org.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Hello?
What's up, E? What you doing?
Chilling at the office working. You?
Hanging at the job site. Chilling.
Roof's up?
Hey, Greg, roof up? Roof's up! Roof's up!
Roof's up!
Roof's up?
Roof's up!
Roof's up! Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At Corbell Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a Tundra for $7,000 off MSRP. That's right, $7,000 off MSRP. And we have plenty in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corbell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, a little more than 1 hour from right now, we'll announce our second winner of the Sazerac Prize Pack giveaway. Go to the Sazerac Rye Instagram account. Instagram. I don't have Instagram. Get Instagram. Why don't you have Instagram? You should. Go to the Sazerac Rye Instagram account. They do have the blue verified check mark. Follow their page. Follow them. Sazerac Rye. Find any post with the Sazerac Rye bottles. Their most recent post is probably the best one. It's got 3 bottles on it. Then just share that post to your story. And it's just, you hit the little arrow at the bottom of the picture. It'll say, add post to your story. Then you tap that, and then you tag me at Matt Moscona on Instagram. You tag me in that post so I can see it, and then we'll randomize and pick a winner at the end of the show. So you can win your Sazerac Rye Tailgate at Home Prize Pack again today. Did it last week for the first time, doing it again using Instagram. They gave me a whole bunch of swag. So Matt, figure out a way. Here's all the stuff. Give it away to your audience. You decide how you want to do it. I'm like, all right. By the way, I'd like a follow on Instagram, too, if you don't mind. I mean, you don't have to, but it'd be cool if you did. At Matt Moscona on Instagram. And Twitter. Facebook, too. And LinkedIn. And TikTok. Are there any more that I'm on? I should be somewhere. Yeah. Find a new one. Y'all, I think the Saints dodged a bullet with Clowney. Y'all know how I felt about it. I was not super keen on the Saints giving up a lot of money for Jadeveon Clowney. I think the proof's in the pudding. One time in his 6 years, he's played a full 16-game schedule, a full 16-game season. He's been injury-prone. He's never had a double-digit sack season. Some of you said, yeah, but he's so good against the run. Saints have been elite against the run, have not allowed a 100-yard rusher since 2017. Samaje Perine with the Washington Redskins then. Saints have been good against the run. Marcus Davenport, 6 sacks last year, doubled up Clowney's total. 1 year in Seattle, and they kick him to the curb. I mean, at some point, proof's kind of in the pudding, right? Well, I was so interested because if you didn't notice, Clowney fired his agent, Bus Cook. And Bus Cook is he's one of those guys that's among the most reputable agents in the NFL. I mean, he was Brett Favre's agent and Randy Moss's agent. Bus Cook represents Myles Garrett, who just signed a $125 million contract with $100 million guaranteed. Like that record-smashing deal that Myles Garrett just signed with the Browns, Bus Cook negotiated that. Like, he's a great agent. And so to see Clowney fire Bus Cook was was interesting coming off this whole thing, but it made sense a little bit in parallel because we talked about with Jameis Winston, right? Winston fired his agent, but it was a little bit of a different deal because Winston didn't get any nibbles. So he's a number 1 overall pick. Tampa doesn't pick up his 5th-year option. They don't sign him to an extension, and he gets no offers anywhere, and he has to take a bargain basement deal with New Orleans. I kind of get it with Jameis. Like, man, you're out there supposed to be fighting for me. The deal with this, so I did some prying. Bus Cook got Jadeveon Clowney a 3-year offer from the Browns worth $57 million with a $30 million guarantee at signing. And he said, no. Clowney wanted $60 million apparently. So he walked away from a 3-year, $57 million contract despite the fact that apparently Bus Cook encouraged him to take it because next year, the salary cap is going to be lower because of COVID when all of that comes into play. I mean, I'm looking at this going, you're going to be kidding me. So the salary cap is going to drop by roughly $25 million. Why would you sign a one-year deal to become a free agent next year when the salary cap's lower? When you could have taken a 3-year deal, played that out, played well opposite Myles Garrett in Cleveland, y'all could have been a great tandem. And then at the end of that deal, probably signed another deal. So in total, you'd end up with like 6 years at $100 million. You would have got a deal that looked similar to Myles Garrett over 2 contracts. And then he fires his agent, y'all. Sometimes I look at stuff like this and I go, who's advising some of these guys? Like, that's not a smart thing to do. Jadeveon Clowney cost himself at least $40 million by punting on the advice he got from the contract that his agent brought to him. I mean, you know the old adage, you can lead a horse to water and you can't make him drink? Like, Clowney never had a double-digit sack season, played 1 full 16-game schedule, 3 sacks a year ago, and he had a 3-year, $57 million contract with $30 million guaranteed on the table, and he walked away from it. Y'all, the Saints are going to breathe a huge sigh of relief that they didn't give up anything for Clowney. And he tries to blame his agent. The agent that got you a $57 million contract offer that you rejected. All right, thanks. Anyway. When the Saints announced their first 53 over the weekend, I always call it the first 53, not the final 53, because it's the first 53-man roster, and inevitably it changes. One of the biggest surprises was that they kept 2 punters. Of course, they have Thomas Morstead, and the other punter is a rookie out of Penn State, an undrafted rookie out of Penn State, of course, an undrafted rookie out of Penn State, named Blake Gillikin. Blake Gillikin. And everybody melted. I shouldn't say everybody, but there were enough Saints fans go, what are they doing? Keeping 2 punters on the 53. Okay. The Saints are as good as anybody in the NFL at manipulating the rules, at finding the loopholes to protect their players and to work out deals financially that make sense. They're as good as anybody. Creatively adding on 3-year deals that are void after 1 so you can spread out cap hits. Like, they're the best at it. Kai Hardley and Mickey Loomis, they're the best at it. So when I saw that they kept 2 punters, obviously you're not keeping 2 punters active. My initial thought was, okay, veteran, especially because on the practice squad, they had guys like Margus Hunt, Anthony Chickalo. They had some veteran players. If you have a veteran on the roster, week 1, his entire salary is guaranteed, regardless if he makes it through the season or not. The whole year salary is guaranteed. So sometimes teams will cut a player, stash a player after week 1, then sign him back so they don't have to guarantee the full salary. If he plays the full season, great, but that way you don't have to guarantee the full salary for the whole season, provided they don't play. This was a way around it. You sign a punter, who you like, by the way. You sign the punter to the 53. Week 1, he's a healthy scratch. And then you waive him, sign him to the practice squad, and you activate one of the veterans or player you need. And it becomes one of those things where all season, you sign him, you cut him, you waive him, you sign, resign, cut, waive, mark, you space. It's just you play that game, that yo-yo. That was one option. That's not what they did. Did you see what the Saints have done with Blake Gillikin? Placed him on IR with a back injury. Now, I don't know if Blake Gillikin has a back injury, sincerely. My guess is that he's probably just fine. But because he was on the 53, they could place him on IR, and even though he's not going to play this year, the team maintains control of the player. And they actually have him on the roster until he can become a restricted free agent in 2022. 3. So they got him this year, 21, 22, and then becomes a restricted free agent in 2023. Pretty smart. So nobody can sign away this player. And now remember what we just talked about. Salary cap next year we know is going to drop. The Saints have to pay Marshawn Lattimore next year. They're going to pay Ryan Ramczyk next year. They're about to pay Alvin Kamara. We know what the Saints cap situation is going to look like. They're going to have to free up cash. Well, Thomas Morstead's 34 years old. If you trade him or release him, you could free up more than $3 million against the cap next year if Morstead's not on the roster. I'm not saying they're going to get rid of Morstead, but they're setting it up to where if they need to, they have a young, affordable replacement that would give them cap space and set themselves up at that position for the foreseeable future. Remember what Sean Payton has always said. Mike Detillier has told us this for years. It's the Bill Parcells angle. You'd rather get rid of a player a year too early than a year too late. So what they did with Darren Sproles. And sometimes you miss and sometimes you hit. Darren Sproles clearly wasn't done when they shipped him to Philly. But maybe that's what they're looking at with Morstead. A year too soon as opposed to a year too late, free up some cash, and you got the heir apparent already on the roster. Maybe. File that one away. And next time, don't freak out. They're not keeping 2 punters on the active roster. Come on. They're smarter than you. And me. I tapped further review. Brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Knock out our final break of hour number 2. Tigers and the Pros to wrap up the hour next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. Get on by and see our friends. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. If you are a deer hunter, it's that time, y'all. You know you got to go put out your plots. You got to go put out your feed and your seed and all that stuff. And you can laugh at me. That's fine because I don't hunt deer. But what I do know is that if you do hunt deer, you got to go put out your buck busters. They've got the buck busters. They got the basic and the premium. They got the Mo Bucks, the deer corn, all that stuff that you got to put out to attract the deer so they come in so you can shoot them and eat them. They got it at Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Love supporting great local businesses. As I've told you, they've got great fall bedding plants. Your fall vegetable gardens, it's time to plant them right now. And if you want fall decor, they've got all that as well. Pumpkins coming soon, maybe even as early as tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours That's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a RAV4 for $3,000 off MSRP. That's right, $3,000 off MSRP. And we have plenty in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas.
Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Okay, wrapping up hour number 2. NFL starts tonight. God, I'm pumped about this. You kidding me? Under 3 hours away from kickoff. Texans at Chiefs. Be some LSU guys in the game, you know it. Perfect time for this. Brain Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
Starting off with tonight's game,
yeah, we are.
Obviously. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to play football tonight.
Get ready for that one, Bray. You can hear it a lot this year.
As opposed to every other year.
True.
Where you, So Clyde, of course, starting at running back for the Chiefs. Darrell Williams is going to play football tonight.
I
mean,
He didn't go to Calicut. Don't worry about him.
It's not Catholic High in the pros.
I mean, it kind of is. Some days.
I will tease that we're starting and ending with it today. Darrell backs up Clyde at running back for the Chiefs. Tyrann Mathieu playing football tonight. Of course, Mathieu will be at strong safety, so on the other side of the ball for the Chiefs. No former Tigers on the Texans.
Weird.
Yeah. Such a strange people. We'd got a few more Tigers as team captains. We had a couple yesterday. Andrew Whitworth is a 2020 offensive captain for the Rams.
Oh boy.
And how about we check in Philadelphia?
Philadelphia freedom.
Where Duke Riley is a special teams captain for the Eagles. Two baseball notes.
Sorry.
DJ LeMahieu homered last night. Do what? Nope.
Yeah, sorry.
DJ LeMahieu homered last night. However, another 1-for-3 outing has dropped his batting average all the way down to 355.
God, dog it.
Yeah. Austin Nola went 2 for... There you go. Celebrate it, Matt. Austin Nola went 2 for 3 last night and drove in a run. Interestingly enough, Austin Nola's batting average is now up over 300.
Attaboy.
Last night's 2 for 3 put him at 301 on the season. And that is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp, kysbesthemp.com. Actually, y'all, I'm telling you straight up, I was talking to Lewis Coleman yesterday. Some people asked, hey, who was the former guy, the Tiger that pulled? Lewis Coleman, former SEC Pitcher of the Year, All-American, National Championship 2009. This is his family's company, his wife's family's company, but he's running it. Kentucky's Best Hemp, giving away 10,000 bottles of their CBD oil for free. I can tell you, Lewis and I talked yesterday, that's going to end Monday. Like, they're pretty much out. So Monday, we're pivoting, and you're not going to be able to get your free bottle anymore. So if you've not done it yet, please do this now. bestfreehemp.com, bestfreehemp.com. It's easy. There's no gimmick. It's like for real. You go to bestfreehemp.com. You pick if you want the cinnamon or the natural flavor at bestfreehemp.com. You don't pay shipping. They pay all of that. You don't put in a credit card. It's not like, get this free now and then we'll charge you because you're part of our mailing list. No. Bestfreehemp.com. They'll send you a bottle of their CBD oil for free. If you have inflammation, you have anxiety, you have trouble sleeping, so many great natural benefits of Kentucky's Best Hemp. And some people ask, hey, am I going to fail a drug test? No, there's no THC in it. Kentucky's Best Hemp, bestfreehemp.com. Do it now, y'all, because I'm telling you, the free bottle thing is over next week. Bestfreehemp.com, bestfreehemp.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're with us. Mike Triplett in 20 minutes from right now. Hopefully we get an updated injury report from the Saints and you reset that. A trio of LSU players met with the media today. God, we got a lot to get to. An update, obviously, on the Ray Parker story there. New FPI projections, tons of stuff to get to. Hour 3 next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138, ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door, siding, ReliefWindows.com. One of the things I love telling you about with Brandon Holly and his staff for so many years is how ethical they are. One of the things Brandon's told me for years is, Matt, I actually like when people call us and complain because that's when we get to prove and show who we are as a company. They love making people's day. Brandon takes on all the risk. He'll never take a deposit from you. You never pay anything until you're thrilled with the work. So whenever you set that as your reputation and then a storm comes through, people know they can trust you. Look, we learned this lesson with the Great Flood of 2016. There were a lot of fly-by-night window companies that came through, window and door companies that did shoddy work for people who had flooded, and then Relief Windows had to come back later and replace that work. Don't pay for it twice. Make the right decision the first time. Trust Relief Windows. Windows, door, siding, Relief Windows.
At Corbell Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a Tundra for $7,000 off MSRP. That's right, $7,000 off MSRP. And we have plenty in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corbell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hello? What's up, B? What you doing?
Chilling at the office working. You?
Hanging at the job site. Chilling.
Roof's up?
Hey, Greg, roof up? Roof's up! Roof's up!
Roof's up!
Roof's up?
Roof's up!
Roof's up! Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana Barbecue Sauce, Louisiana Molasses Mustard, Spicy and Sweet Barbecue Rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets, or by logging on to jdacody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Welcome to opening night in the NFL. The 2020 season kicking off with the Super Bowl champion Chiefs hosting the Texans. With Pat Mahomes leading the way, Kansas City is the favorite to win Super Bowl 55 at 6-1 odds. No easy task tonight for Houston in KC, notes ESPN's Marcus Spears.
There is no way for Houston to win it unless Deshaun Watson, like we've seen before, turns superhuman and does some things that's out of his mind. And could it happen? Yes, because we've seen it. But bottom line is, Patrick Mahomes is Superman as well, and he's going out there with the better team.
Linebacker Clay Matthews failing to reach a deal with the Broncos, but his agent says he's open to playing this season, provided the opportunity's right for him and his family. The Broncos had attempted to sign Matthews, with linebacker Von Miller sidelined indefinitely. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott said he sought help for anxiety and depression in the offseason, brought on by the death of his older brother Jace and the coronavirus pandemic. By being upfront with the issues he dealt with, Prescott is hoping that he can help others in return.
Coming up Friday, the NFL season opener is here. So how is the league keeping the players safe? We'll ask NFLPA Executive Director DeMaurice Smith when he joins us on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, Friday, 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
The Brain.
Hey, the brain got a poop.
And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, it is 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Mike Triplett in about 15 minutes. Talk some Saints as Houdat's getting ready for a season opener Sunday in the Dome against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In the meantime, LSU still a couple of weeks away from its opener. We did get clarification on the Ray Parker situation. And please spare me the Ghostbusters jokes. Brain, I'm actually a little surprised you didn't hit me with a Ghostbusters joke yesterday with the Ray Parker thing.
You know, because I thought the technicality of it's Ray Parker Jr.
Yeah.
Wrote the Ghostbusters theme. So
Yeah.
I don't know Ray Parker's dad's name.
Okay. That was right in your wheelhouse, though.
Oh, yeah, but I'm all about the accuracy.
Like if Tulane should be playing football or not?
That was brutal.
Wow. All right, we'll get to that. If you missed it, there was a very contentious moment during the Mayor of New Orleans press conference. Travers Mackel of WDSU, who was with us last hour, was asking a very direct question, a yes or no question of the mayor, if there was going to be high school football. I don't know why, but that became contentious. And then the chief medical officer in New Orleans disclosed that neither she nor the mayor were aware that Tulane was practicing football, even though, according to Phase 2 in New Orleans, you're not allowed to have contact sports. Okay. Good luck putting the toothpaste back in the tube on that one. I mean, major damage control coming. I digress. Ray Parker, we have learned the reason that the LSU defensive end was suspended is that he was arrested on charges of battery of a dating partner and simple criminal damage to property. It it's the criminal damage to property that is identified as a felony. And under the LSU student handbook, if a student athlete is charged with a felony, they are immediately suspended from participation in intercollegiate athletics. So apparently, according to the police report, the alleged victim called police, said they were in a relationship for roughly a year. Parker came to her residence around 1 a.m. Their conversation escalated. Parker started, quote, began to destroy, end quote, the victim's apartment, pushed the victim allegedly into a dresser, leaving a scrape on her hip. So that's the reason why Ray Parker was or has been suspended indefinitely from the LSU team. He has also, it's worth noting, been removed from the LSU roster at LSUsports.net. So I don't know if there is an expectation of him returning, but that is a pretty definitive reaction when you remove that player from your online roster. I don't want to speak to the specifics of what is alleged to have happened. I wasn't there. I don't know. I completely respect taking all of that very seriously. But I'll also say that what we've talked about specifically from an on-field perspective is LSU keeps getting thinner. I had a buddy who's a national media member today text me and say, was Ray Parker going to, well, I'll read you the text directly. Was Ray Parker in the mix or just a guy, is the way that the text read. And my answer was no. I mean, literally, Ed Ogeron hasn't mentioned Ray Parker at all this offseason. And it's not to say that he wouldn't have become eventually. And you hate to see that. A guy's 6'5" and 270 and athletic and physical and all those things and has great potential and a great opportunity. And you hate to see some of those opportunities wasted. But, you know, it's more so it's another body that you don't have now on that defensive line where you're already paper thin. So, but now we know why Ray Parker has been indefinitely suspended from the LSU football team. It's after further review. Another story that we keep following, aside from LSU losing players, is the continued lack of expectation nationally of LSU. The latest is ESPN's updated FPI. The FPI is the Football Percentage Index, or the Football Power Index, and it's completely metric-based. So these are computers that are spitting out results and numbers and projections and all this sort of stuff. Well, FPI has, every week during the season, they recalculate their FPI numbers, and they've done it now, even though the SEC hasn't played any games, but LSU is now without Jamar Chase and Tyler Shelvin, as we know. And what's interesting is that all of LSU's percentages dropped. But that's to be expected with this because this is a computer, as you understand. If you can, this is quantitative analysis. If you take away 1,780 receiving yards and 20 receiving touchdowns, of course the computer is going to look at your offense and go, okay, not as good. Same with your defense. You take away Tyler, a starter in the middle who accumulated the amount of tackles and sacks, etc., it's going to say you're not as good. So you understand why the computer would look at that. For what it's worth, and I always feel like I have to throw out this caveat, FPI projected LSU 5-7 2 years ago. The 2018 team, they projected 5-7. So take it for what it's worth. LSU's chance of going undefeated, just 0.9%. Odds of winning the SEC went from 13.9% all the way down to 6.9%. So it dropped 7%. A chance to win the West went from 25% to 14%. LSU had, according to the FPI, a 40% chance of making the college football playoff. Now, obviously, this is a weird year. No Big Ten, no Pac-12. And a second SEC team is very likely going to make the playoff. I mean, it's going to be Clemson, the Big 12 champion, Oklahoma or Texas, the SEC champion, and then a second SEC team. So they had, FPI looked at LSU as having a 40% chance of making the playoff. Now it's all the way down to 24%. As far as reaching the championship game, from 18% to 9.8%. But the win total stays at 7.3. And I don't know that the opt-outs have changed my opinion at all on LSU's projected win total. I think they have 6 layups. They have 6 gimmies on the schedule. And I understand it's the SEC and anything can happen, all that stuff. LSU is flatly better than and will be a double-digit favorite over Mississippi State and Vanderbilt and Missouri and South Carolina and the Mississippi schools. LSU will be a double-digit favorite over all of those schools. And they'll win those games easily. The other 4 games will determine their season. The 3 road games, Florida, Auburn, A&M, and then Bama. And I do get the feedback from time to time. People that say, I don't understand the hype on A&M. Please don't misunderstand. I'm not hyping A&M. I think A&M, under its previous schedule, had a much better opportunity than they do under the current schedule. Because we talked about this yesterday with Russ Mitchell. You know, the way A&M's schedule shaped up before, they were very likely had an awesome chance to be 10-0 going into the final 2 weeks, which were Bama, LSU. But they had a great chance to be 10-0. Now, they play Vanderbilt to open, and then it's Bama, Florida, boom, boom. I mean, they could be 1-3 out the gate, or 1-2 through 3 weeks, and it could be over. So, I digress. But my point is, you have a quantitative loss with Chase and Shelvin here. The computers don't know what is there behind them. They don't know what Terrace Marshall is. They don't understand. A computer doesn't understand what Keyshawn Booty or Racey McMath can bring. A computer can't quantify Ari Gilbert, who's not played a collegiate snap, if all that makes sense. But the opt-outs don't change my win total. You know, my thought for LSU is, realistically, they probably split those 4 games I talked about. They go 8-2. Is 8-2 enough to get you in the playoff? Maybe in this year, because none of us realistically knows how we'll perceive a 10-game conference-only schedule. Like, we know what 10-2 in a given year, a 12-game year, normally would get you. 10-2 is going to get you into the New Year 6. What does 8-2 in a conference-only 10-game schedule mean? I don't know. We'll all find out. We'll see if LSU can fall one way or another on that number. Off of 8-2, could they make it 9-1? Or do they fall to 7-3 like FPI is projecting? That's what we'll wait and see how it plays out. Okay, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. About 30 minutes from right now, we're going to announce our winner for the Sazerac prize pack, tailgate prize pack giveaway. It's easy. You do 3 things. Go to Instagram. Follow the Sazerac Rye page. It's a verified page, Sazerac Rye on Instagram. Find any post with the Sazerac bottle in it and share it to your story. Tag me in the post. That's it. And you could win. We'll announce our winner in about 30 minutes. It's AFR. Mike Triplett next.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001. 752-0001. I know we're moving into fall. Still 94 degrees today. You know you're still cranking up your AC round the clock, even at night when we're at 80 degrees. River City's 1 Hour Air can make sure your home central AC stays in tip-top shape. If your unit was damaged during the storm, call River City's 1 Hour Air. If your unit isn't keeping up, it's not cooling properly, call River City's 1 Hour Air. If you need a repair, mention the Moscona special, and River City's 1 Hour Air will save you $25 off any system repair. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. They are hiring as well. So if you're looking for a career instead of a job with great benefits, River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
When it's clearance time, smart customers rush to Richard's Honda because all your favorite Honda models are at fantastic prices. And with our fanatical customer care, it's no wonder people call Richard's Honda the smart choice.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Your Honda needs some TLC, and Richard's Honda is the smart place to get it. With oil changes at just $39. And with so many service bays, you'll be in and out super fast. Schedule your
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Saints Bucks Sunday in the Dome. Man, I can't believe it's finally here. Football tonight. Excited for it. Mike Triplett, Saints reporter, ESPN.com. Always good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us. Mike, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
What is tonight? Is the Hall of Fame game?
Mike, that was months ago. You missed it.
What?
Wait a minute. You missed the Hall of Fame game. How could you miss the Hall of Fame game at Tom Benson Stadium?
This Sunday is a real game. You're telling me it's a real game.
Real
Saints
game.
Buccaneers.
If you have a chance, if you missed the open of my show today, I would really encourage. Are you a fan of the movie Christmas Vacation?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, please go back and watch the beginning of my show.
I will.
Thank you.
I will for sure.
Mike,
you sold me. Just sales pitch there.
Just trust me. If you appreciate the movie, you'll appreciate the open of the show today. Mad Libs or not. Let's start with an updated injury report. Marcus Davenport, Cesar Ruiz still there, still not practicing. P.J. Williams limited. Where is the level of concern with Davenport and Ruiz for Sunday?
For Sunday, I think there's a high level of concern. I mean, there's only one full practice day left, so I'd be surprised if either one plays Sunday. But for long term, I'm less concerned because we actually saw Davenport back on the practice field briefly last week. Peyton did say he didn't think Ruiz would last long, and if they don't put them on an injured reserve for 3 weeks, now that the IR list is only 3 weeks, if this stuff was going to linger, or even 2 weeks, they'd probably be on injured reserve.
Bigger loss Sunday if neither plays.
Oh, Davenport by a mile. I mean, Ruiz could end up being the better player, but this is going to be his first NFL game after an abbreviated training camp that was abbreviated even further by the injury. I mean, he's going to be a little bit of a work in progress, whereas Davenport, especially after they missed out on Clowney, they were counting on to be a big-time edge rusher for them. And I've been on your show saying I thought they should have added a third edge rusher for the rotation because I thought they were already kind of thin to begin with. So Trey Hendrickson and Carl Granderson are going to have to step up quite a bit. If Davenport doesn't play, I imagine we'll probably see Marcus Hunt up for this game too.
I was going to ask who fills that role. How realistic is it, or what are realistic expectations? We're operating under the assumption here that if Davenport doesn't play, on Hendrickson and Granderson, and as you mentioned, if it is Marcus Hunt who's signed to the active roster.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. We know they have one of the handful of best defensive ends in the league on the other end. Not that many teams have two Pro Bowlers playing defensive ends, so a lot of people are just fine at the second end position. Also, like their tackle, Sheldon Rankins on a nice camp. So you've got David Onyemata, Sheldon Rankins, and Malcolm Brown rotating at tackle. So, I think they can make do. I mean, Hendrickson's been a pro. He started games. Davenport's obviously missed a lot of time in the past. And Granderson was one of the more impressive guys in camp. I don't know that will automatically show up in the first game of the season, but they're guys who deserve to be on a football field week one, that's for sure.
Mike Triplett's with us on Twitter at Mike Triplett. Flip it around to the offensive line. If, in fact, Ruiz doesn't go, Nick Easton is the obvious choice then at right guard?
Yeah, obvious choice there, and Will Clapp ready to go if they need somebody during the game. Easton's probably not a world beater. They went out and drafted Cesar Ruiz in the first round for a reason, but we saw Easton start games in place of Andrews Pete do pretty well last year. He stepped into games in place of Larry Warford, did pretty well. That's one of those, dependable backups. Might be an issue. I mean, I'm not saying he won't give up a sack or a pressure up the middle during the game, but it's not panic mode time because Cesar Ruiz isn't available for this game.
You and I have not spoken since the roster I call the first 53. Anybody that made the team that you think Sunday, maybe that we weren't necessarily expecting, or that was a bit of a surprise, that you think actually has an impact on Sunday?
That's a good question because the three undrafted guys, Malcolm Roach at defensive tackle is in the back of a rotation. Marquez Callaway, I think, made it at receiver just as much for his special teams ability, so they know that they can see him playing snaps on the field. And the linebacker Chase Hansen, again, I see as their fifth linebacker playing special teams. So Derek Kelly, backup offensive lineman, was kind of a surprise to me. So I wouldn't say that. I would say two guys who were really good in camp that I think people had dismissed. I think there was probably a time this offseason that if we had written, the Saints had decided not to bring back P.J. Williams or Patrick Robinson, that people would have been like, oh, yeah, I expected them to be gone. I think those guys look like, they could contribute this year. They both had terrific camps. They're probably battling each other for co-MVP of training camp.
Well, that's fantastic news if it plays out, especially this week because you've got the Bucs coming in. I want to ask you about Tampa in this matchup in a second, but you've covered Drew Brees for as long as he's been in New Orleans, and the comments that he made on the conference call yesterday about, sort of being all in and he's on borrowed time, that really it punched, Mike. It was, Drew's not, I'm not going to say he's evasive, but that was blunt. What was your reaction hearing that yesterday?
He's been working his way toward blunt for a couple of years now. I did a story with him as my sort of playoff preview, where I actually said to him, I go, tell me if I'm mistaken, but I feel like your answers in your press conferences, this year have been a little more openly recognizing that you're, and he said, I'll tell you exactly when that started. He said 3 years ago, I decided I'm treating every season like it's my last from now on. That's how I'm going to approach every season. So if it is my last, so that's been his mindset for 3 years. But you're right. He is getting more and more blunt and just unabashedly open with it. But that he said that's been his philosophy. This will be the fourth year in a row now where he said, I'm not announcing this is my final season and doing the farewell tour like Derek Jeter where I get my gift before every game, but I'm going into every stadium. He's going into every stadium looking around thinking this might be the last time I play it against Tom Brady. This might be the last time I play in this stadium. This might be the last time I play in the Dome. He's taking that mindset. The other thing I will say about him being guarded. I mean, he is probably a little guarded and polishing his quotes, but I do always know that you're going to get, that zinger line to the point where I was working on this Brady Breeze piece for this week that was very heavily stats driven. We put together some graphics, all the history in this game, the things that have been done, and I sent it all to my editor yesterday with the first 3 graphs and then insert Drew Brees quote here. And of course, he had the perfect quote for the.
Of course, at this time on borrowed time, 41 years old. Mike Triplett's with us, ESPN.com. Okay, Saints Bucks Sunday in the Dome. You always kind of know what to expect, but with this one, you don't really know what to expect. So,
no.
What do you expect?
Well, here's the thing. I had to predict the score. I confidently will predict the Saints to win the NFC South this year. Now, I mean, I'm not predicting the Bucks record. I picked the Saints to go 11-5. I'm somewhere between 11 and 12 on them. Tampa Bay, I'm somewhere between 9 and 11 on them. If they ended up tied for first, if the Saints win 11, Tampa Bay wins 10, that wouldn't surprise me. But the Saints are the team to beat. Tampa has a lot to prove and a lot of new pieces that have to come together in an unusual offseason. The Saints are just deeper. I think they're the better team. But week 1 is always a wild card, and it's especially going to be a wild card this year. I don't feel comfortable picking anybody in a survivor pool this year. I mean, there's not a result in the NFL that would surprise me this week, and certainly the enthusiasm Tampa Bay has right now, it'll hurt if they don't have Mike Evans, but I'd take 26-23. We saw Tampa Bay with Ryan Fitzpatrick come in here in week 1 and win a couple of years ago. All bets are off in week 1 especially.
Do you think that New Orleans has solved what had ailed it for about 3 years straight in season openers?
Well,
or is this
I
year,
think
that unpredictable, Mike? I mean,
no, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's impossible for me to say the Saints are going to step on the field in week 1. I think they're better equipped than most. I mean, if they're playing Carolina in week 1, I would pick the Saints by a bunch. I don't know. Carolina's players are probably still introducing each other to each other. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say I think they've solved whatever ailed them, but wasn't it 5 years in a row that they lost their season opener? And a lot of them were close games, and, there were reasons. 3 of those losses were in 7 and 9 seasons. But yeah, I mean, the year of the Minneapolis Miracle, the last time they played Tom Brady, he threw for about 500 yards against them in week 2 of that 2017 season. They ended up being a really good team that year, and they just weren't quite what they were yet at the beginning of the year.
They opened up that season against Minnesota, and Sam Bradford threw for 500 yards. It was like every week someone was becoming the NFL Offensive Player of the Week. You had to play the Saints.
Exactly.
Mike Triplett.
They turned it around since then, though.
They turned around that season, obviously, and they certainly have, and this does feel like a go-for-broke year. And you can follow along all season with Mike on ESPN.com, of course, and at Mike Triplett on Twitter. Mike, we always appreciate a couple of minutes, man. Thanks so much.
Happy to do it. Thanks for having me.
Okay, man. It's after further review. So Mike's got the Saints winning. Confidently saying the Saints will win the division, but no clue with any confidence about week 1. And I agree with him. And maybe getting to see this opening weekend of college football. And there's a stark difference between college and pros. There's 99% of the players that play college football will never play at the professional level. So I understand there's a difference. It's high school to college and college to pro. There's massive leaps. But because you had so much uncertainty with this offseason, because we haven't seen any of these teams play, Marquez Callaway made the Saints roster. He's never stepped on an NFL field. He got no preseason. So Sunday will be the first time he's ever on an NFL field. What do you expect from that guy? I don't know. No clue. I mean, a year ago, if there was no preseason, Emmanuel Butler would have made the roster, no doubt. He crushed it. But every time he got on the field, he struggled. So I'm with Mike. But the thing that I will say that I will confidently say is established teams with veteran quarterbacks, established coaches, that leadership, they are going to have a much easier transition this year. The Saints, with an established roster, a quarterback that's been there for 15 years, a quarterback coach tandem, the Saints are going to have an easier time with this transition than the Chargers will. I'm not telling you the Chargers are going to be any great shakes anyway, but Tyrod Taylor taking over for Phillip Rivers, that's going to be tough. Joe Burrow in Cincinnati, that's going to be tough, especially in that division. I'm not saying that they're not going to do well this year, but relative to the standard of a year ago, I mean, there's a reason they got the number one pick. But Carolina, that's going to be brutal. I think New Orleans is going to be fine. As great a player as Tom Brady is, new quarterback, new system. Yeah, I look at the fact that Vegas, or not Vegas, but the fact that, I mean, Vegas to a degree, we'll talk about that a bit, but that the public is so much backing Tampa. I think the casinos, the sports books are going to make so much money off of Tampa, off of people betting Tampa this year. I like the Saints in week 1. We'll do picks tomorrow on the show, but I absolutely think the Saints win on Sunday in the Dome. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're with us here. Got to give away our Sazerac prize pack winner. You still got time. It's easy. Go to the Sazerac Rye Instagram account. Follow their page. Find any post with the Sazerac Rye bottle. Share that post to your story. Tag me at Matt Moscona, and you could win. We'll announce our winner coming up here in about 15 minutes. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Carriages in Bocage, carriagesbr.com. 2 weeks from Saturday, y'all. 2 weeks from Saturday, LSU is back in Death Valley. Even if you may not be there, the best thing to do, though, rep the Tigers, courtesy of Carriages in Bocage. They've got officially licensed LSU gear, a classier game day line. So go to carriagesbr.com, hit the game day tab, and you'll see all of their officially licensed gear. They got the Sailor Mike logo. They've got the championship, the national championship logo on Peter Millar Performance Gear, on Johnny O brand. They've got the long sleeves, the quarter zips. Look, they got so much great apparel, perfect for fall and football season to check out at Carriages in Bocage or online at carriagesbr.com. If you go into the store, you walk past that first threshold on the right, you can't miss it. They've got shirts and slacks and shorts and belts and socks. It's Carriages in Bocage. Check them out online at carriagesbr.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Hello?
What's up, E? What you doing?
Chilling at the office working. You?
Hanging at the job site. Chilling.
Roof's up.
Hey, Greg, roof up?
Roof's up. Roof's up. Roof's up.
Roof's up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up! Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we are rolling along here on a Thursday edition of AFR and could not be more pumped. Football starting tonight. We are inside of 2 hours from the NFL kickoff. If you're keeping an eye on betting favorites and whatnot, the Chiefs are a favorite tonight, and they are the favorite to repeat as Super Bowl champions. 6-1 favorites to repeat. They're followed closely by Baltimore and the 49ers. But more public money is on Tampa Bay to win the Super Bowl than on any other team right now. As a matter of fact, FanDuel is facing a 7-figure liability on the Bucs to start the season, meaning they will take a bath financially if Tampa goes on to win the Super Bowl. The public loves Tom Brady. They get Leonard Fournette. They love this team. I don't. I've gone over this many, many times. This is a team that looks really good on paper, with a 43-year-old quarterback, a broken-down tight end in Gronk that hasn't played in more than a year, and the last time we saw him, he was a shell of himself. LaShawn McCoy at one point was a great running back, but he was a healthy scratch for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl run last year. I don't look at I look at a playoff team. I look at it at a Tampa Bay team. It could be a 9-7 playoff-type team. I don't see a Super Bowl contender. The one thing that I look at that I say, man, that's really cool, or good news for New Orleans, Chiefs, Ravens, both AFC teams with the best odds to win the Super Bowl. The NFC team with the best odds is the 49ers. And let's not forget, the Super Bowl hangover is a very real thing, y'all. 3 of the last 4 Super Bowl losers missed the playoffs the next year. Rams, Falcons, and Panthers. The one exception is the Patriots. They lost the Super Bowl to the Eagles, came back the following year, and beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. That's New England. Brett Belichick, Brady, the greatest dynasty this sport has ever seen. That's an outlier. That's the exception. The rule has been the Super Bowl loser generally doesn't bounce back. I look at San Francisco, especially the manner in which they lost the Super Bowl, blowing a double-digit fourth-quarter lead to Mahomes and the Chiefs, and say that's going to be really tough to try to replicate. So I like New Orleans odds a lot here. If you're interested in prop bets, Joe Burrow, favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. By the way, Joe Burrow was asked yesterday, the hardest hit, Brain. Joe Burrow was asked yesterday the hardest hit that he had ever taken in a football game. This was his answer.
The biggest hit you've ever taken before? Do you remember it?
No, I won't give anybody that satisfaction.
Love that guy so much. By the way, since the hardest hit he's ever taken, he hasn't lost a game. You know which one I'm referring to. Anyway, public money on Tampa, destined to lose. Great news for New Orleans. And pulling for Joe and obviously pulling for Clyde tonight as well. Clyde is the guy other than Joe Burrow with the most support for Rookie of the Year. When you see the way that he could work within that Kansas City offense, it makes a lot of sense. All right, so NFL kickoff is tonight. I'm going to get to something that Ohio State head coach Ryan Day said today in just a quick second. Let me remind you about GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Change your life today. At least start the process of changing your life today with GMFS Mortgage. Log on to GMFSmortgage.com. Just remember 4 letters. GMFSmortgage.com. Find the local lender near issue and let them start the process of seeing if they could lower your monthly mortgage payment. If your rate's above a 4, it's so worth a call. Lower your monthly mortgage payment. Keep more of your hard-earned money. Maybe in that process of closing your new mortgage, you can skip a payment or two. What if you could skip a mortgage payment for a month or two? What could that do for you financially? Change your life today. GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. So Ryan Day is the head coach at Ohio State. You know that. The Big Ten has been so adamant, so outspoken about their decision to cancel football. And I'm not just talking about the powers that be. I mean the coaches, the players, the parents. There have been attorneys involved. It has been ugly. And this is what you get when you have lack of leadership in an organization like this or any organization. Well, Ryan Day today published a statement via the university. He has his university support. And he wrote, while I understand the Big Ten Conference's decision to postpone the football season because of health and safety considerations, the communication of information from the Big Ten following the decision has been disappointing and often unclear. However, we still have an opportunity to give our young men what they have worked so hard for, a chance to safely compete for a national championship this fall. I couldn't possibly be prouder of how this team, our medical personnel, athletic director, and president have stayed together and managed through this extremely difficult time with so many unanswered questions. The Big Ten Medical Subcommittee has done an excellent job of creating a safe pathway toward returning to play in mid-October. These young men and their parents have asked so many questions that I do not have an answer to. But the one that hurts the most is, why can these other teams and players play and we can't? Duke is playing Notre Dame and Clemson is playing Wake Forest this weekend. Our players want to know, why can't they play? There is an incredible amount of pressure on Big Ten presidents, the commissioner, to let them play in the fall. The problem, as I've said from the beginning, how do you walk back your belief that it's not safe? And they have not been able to answer that question. Because they're wrong. They're the Debbie Downers. You got to get that on the button. Mid-October. I'd be for it. I would. I would be for the Big Ten reinstating their season, coming out and saying, we were preemptive, we were premature, we've assessed our decision, we've seen other leagues have shown there is a way to do this safely, and we want to give our student-athletes the same opportunity. I'd be for it. I would be 100% for them doing it. I just don't know that the snooty elitists that run Big Ten universities are going to be willing to swallow their pride and do what's right for their student-athletes. And that's a shame. Okay, y'all. It's After Further Review. Thursday show is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. We'll come back. Got to do a couple things. Jimmy will join us for Otter Locks, and we'll give away our Sazerac Tailgate at Home prize back. It'll be the backpack cooler and tailgate chair combo, the Bluetooth lantern speaker, and a bunch of Sazerac swag. Shirts, cups, koozies. You know how to enter. Instagram, Sazerac Rye. Follow their page. Go to any post with the Sazerac Rye bottle. Share it to your story. Tag me. You could win. We'll announce the winner when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Boy, we got football tonight. What you going to have for dinner? I got an idea. How about this? You're knocking off of work. Maybe you're already home. No worries. Call Ichiban or log on to the website, ichibanbr.com. place your order. They'll tell you what time it'll be ready. You can even designate online what time you want to pick it up. Pay for it online. They have curbside to go. When you get there, pull up into the spot, call the number. They'll bring it out to your car. It's already paid for. Bring it to the house. Pour a glass of wine. Enjoy the best sushi in Baton Rouge as the NFL season kicks off. What more could you want? Maybe to dine in at Ichiban. Have a dine-in experience. 2 locations. Essen near Perkins, Airline Highway in Gonzales. Voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225 awards. NFL kickoff tonight. Power 5 kickoff tonight. Why not enjoy it and make tonight an Ichiban night?
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a RAV4 for $3,000 off MSRP. That's right, $3,000 off MSRP. And we have plenty in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Do you know the proper way to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in your office? We do. We're Jani-King, a leader in the cleaning industry for over 30 years, and we've developed comprehensive programs to address proper cleaning and disinfection. We have experience in applying disinfecting programs in hospitals, office buildings, schools, and other venues. Now we're ready to help and able to assist customers that need disinfecting services.
Jani-King, the king of clean.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, online, theantiagingclinics.com. All right, Paulie, do me a favor, take my screen if you would. We're going to do a random number generator. Wow, 79 was the result. Okay, so the winner of the Sazerac prize pack is Robert Bishop. Unbelievable. Literally the last guy that just got in. We did the number generator, the randomizer, and he won it. So Robert Bishop is the winner. You got to have proof that you're 21. I should have mentioned that earlier, and Robert looks like he's probably not 21, so he may not actually be able to win. We'll do this over again just in case. If Robert can't win, then it'll be the number 18, so I'll go back and find that. Okay, let's get to Jimmy Ott for Otter Locks. Brain, if you would.
Otter Locks, presented by Hot Rods Creole. The way to Creole. Shop online, hotrodscreole.com.
All right, Jimmy Ott joins us from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar in downtown Baton Rouge. Great spot to watch the NFL kickoff tonight. Otter, how are you?
Doing fantastic, man. Did I hear you say that today with the opening football reminds you of a movie? Huh?
Indeed. Christmas Vacation. The greatest movie in the
Christmas
history of the world.
Vacation.
In the history of the world.
Well, we've got some notables over here. Hanny's over here. Kind of reminds me of Weekend at Bernie's. So having a good time.
I can't believe you talked me off of the spread last night, Otter. I would have won with the Orioles plus 1.5. You made me play the money line, damn it.
The screws on this deal, huh? You're not taking the money line when we're hitting them big, and then you're taking the money line when the run line. You're zigging when you zag, and you're playing the don'ts when you should be playing the pass line. I don't know, man. I don't know what to do with you, man. Sometimes you got to stay with your conviction. Me? No. We're trying to bet a little to win a lot. You understand? I mean, 5-run lead, man. 5-run lead. Should have got in game and hedge. You know? I don't know. It was a tough loss, though. Tough loss.
All right, so what are we betting on tonight? We betting football tonight, or are we betting baseball? What are we doing?
Do you want baseball or football?
You know, give me your feeling on this game tonight, in particular, because nobody really knows what the hell to do with this season, Jimmy. I mean, it's like we talked about yesterday on Monday how off the odds makers were on college football's opening weekend. I'm scared to think it's the same here going to be the same here with the NFL.
No, I disagree because the NFL's way more uniform on how much people can practice, and they're all practicing as much as they can. Everybody's doing the same. It's a level playing field. The college, it's all over the place. We know that. Well, you got some conferences that aren't even playing, and some that are. I mean, so you had some that had some spring practices. Here's the thing: the ones that have practiced more have not lost yet. And we got one going tonight. It's UAB against Miami. Yeah. UAB, that score was a lot closer than it could have been. A fumble punt late in the half set up Central Arkansas for a short score. They scored again. And then they still run out big, and they put in a second string and two late touchdowns for the backdoor cover. That game was not as close as that final score. They returned just about everybody back from last year, including their quarterback. And Miami is just an underperforming program, and Manny Diaz is not the guy. They're still playing that U tax too, where they have inflated numbers. 3 straight years they've had losing seasons against the spread, and it's just kind of a class case. And I love the angle of the teams that have had a game under their belt versus the teams that haven't. For the weekend, it's kind of something to go by. But I like UAB tonight against Miami with the points, and it's rising too. It's up to 16 now.
Wow, because of UAB with the points. What about the NFL game?
I'm just taking points. I mean, Kansas City. It's funny. All the pros are taking Houston. All the Joes, kind of the betting public, the smaller bets are all taking Kansas City. So
is it 9?
Here.
Is it 9?
9.5.
9.5. Okay.
Yeah, 9.5. So it's tough, but I think any type of points are going to be pretty good this weekend in the NFL opening season because they're behind as well. No preseason, limited practice. The off season has been compromised to say the least, and so the offenses are usually a little behind to start the season. May even be more behind, but I would take the Texans plus the 9.5.
What about the playing unders potentially? If you think offense is going to be tough to come by.
Yeah, just the only thing though, if this thing is anything close to normal, this thing should go way over. I mean, these offenses against these defenses should have their way, and we saw that a bunch last year, certainly in the playoff game when it's freezing cold. The other thing is the Saints, the Seahawks, and the Chiefs probably the three strongest home field advantages.
Yep.
You reduce to what, 15,000 tonight, something like that.
Yeah.
So that Arrowhead rocks, man, and that's gonna be neutralized tonight.
Otter Locks, courtesy of our friends at Hot Rods Creole. Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge, and if you're not in Baton Rouge, no sweat. Pop it on Facebook there on the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. It'll be live here coming up in about 6 minutes.
I hope Erica got on you last night for not staying with the run line. I hope she did.
She was so on you. She was like, Otter's my new favorite. And then now you start losing, and she's like, that Jimmy Ott, I hate him so much. I'm telling you. Lock it away. I'll see you, man. Have a good show.
All right. Man.
All right, that is Jimmy Ott. Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us. Let me remind you, Otter Locks every day is brought to you by Hot Rods Creole, the way to Creole. Rodney Beloso started cooking for friends. Now he's got a full-fledged business. Seasonings, sauces, mixes. Check it out at hotrodscreole.com, hotrodscreole.com. Use the promo code AFR to save 10%. And they're doing an awesome thing this weekend. They're going to be in Lake Charles cooking for the frontline workers for Hurricane Laura response. 300 gallons of jambalaya they're making. That's the kind of people you're dealing with there with Hot Rods. If you want to contribute, you can Venmo your contribution at Hot Rods Creole, to Venmo your donation there. Brian, what did you learn?
Travers Mackle don't back down.
Paul, what did you learn?
Uga can't be on the sidelines this year.
You what?
Uga can't be on the sidelines.
Oh, yeah, Uga. That's right. No Uga on the sideline.
Matt, what'd you learn?
That I am out of time. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you.
AFR.
Getting on down the road. Remind you about ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. The thing I want to talk about, I always talk about name brand tires, wholesale prices, bumper to bumper auto service. ShawBills is hiring at all locations. And the benefits they give their employees are amazing. From 401k, retirement, to health benefit with employer contribution. They also have a tool purchase program, paid leave. They have amazing benefits when you work at ShawBills. They treat you like family because they're a family-owned and operated business and have been for 50 years, more than 50 years, 52 years to be exact. ShawBillsTire.com. If you're looking for work, all positions at any of their locations, ShawBillsTire.com. To apply online or in person, ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBills, where we keep your...
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors